Okay, you ready? Sure.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Okay, so we may as well start the cast now then. I'm ready. So today's matchup is going to be between the four Pool Lifeguards and Two Fact Two Furious. We're in CPL 8, Week 1. We're going to hop right into our first match here. Let's see here.
And yeah, with me today is iRk-RoyalBlue, and I am Shroom of Doom, and we're glad to have you back with us for another CPL cast.
Yeah, it's always fun to do these CPL matches. And today's match is between MyFleetingDream, who's in the top right, and Diggurd, who's in the bottom right. And this map today is Butter, and we're going to be looking at a Terran versus Zerg. So MyFleetingDream is the blue Terran, and Diggurd is the green Zerg.
It's definitely nice to see some of these alternative maps being played instead of the same old, polypoid fighting spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this map, Royal Blue, two-player map with uh, both players spawning on the same side, actually, both on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
A little bit unique, right? What do you think? Do you think this favors Terran or Zerg, in your opinion?
You know, that's a good question. I haven't played enough games really to figure out what it favors. I think Zerg has bases that they can take relatively easy and defend with lurkers, and we see that a lot on these kind of games. So that may benefit them in the early game, that they could take 1, 2, 3, 4 gases on their kind of corner of the map.
Yep, that high ground and that base right next to, let's say, the natural, right, can be easily defended by lurkers. But, let's see what kind of game these two players will
Yeah,
give us.
so it looks like Diggurd went for like, what is this, a 9 or a 10 hatchery here? And then is sending out a drone scout. And is going to see the barracks building here for MyFleetingDream. So far, no gas, but the spawning pool does go down here from Zerg.
Yeah, good job by MyFleetingDream actually in body blocking that drone. I don't know if you noticed that, but he actually kept that drone off the constructing SCV in the barracks for a long time. So it was really well done by him. Now, FleetingDream's own SCV coming into Diggurd's base, he's going to see everything. See the timing of that gas, right? Timing of the spawning pool. Obviously, see the timing of the natural hatchery going down. Oh, interestingly enough, though, look at that. Gas coming down for MyFleetingDream.
Yeah, this is a bit of an odd gas timing, right? Because it's not like at 12 like you would expect, but maybe a little bit later, like after the barracks is finished even. So I wonder if this is going to be going into some kind of academy play instead of a factory, because it is a later gas. But we'll see where MyFleetingDream decides to take this. There's another depot going down. At least it is a sign of one basing, right? Or at least somewhat. Oh, and here's the academy.
Yeah, I think you called it. I think he waited a bit for that refinery to come down because he wanted the drone to leave his base first so he could hide his build.
And
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be mech or anything like that, especially with the academy coming down now. So it kind of does look like a one base play, right?
Yeah, and this might be wise against Diggurd, who is massing links but not really, and getting speed but not getting lair, not getting a lot of drones here, just staying on 9 workers. So maybe taking an expand would have left MyFleetingDream a little exposed. Even as it is, there's 7 lings over here against only 5 marines. So these links with speed finishing up relatively soon could pose a problem here for the Terran if there isn't, like, let's say a medic or firebats out there. These marines can die pretty easily to just links.
Yeah, for sure. I was a little bit worried for the Terran for a second because he had his Marines outside the choke, but now that he's bunched them up, so there's more of a choke. And it looks like he's moving in a couple SCVs in position 2, right? That will really stop the link pressure. And honestly, MyFleetingDream knows what's coming. His SCV has been killing that spawning pool forever, and he sees all these feedlings coming out, right? He should know that there's a link flood coming in.
Even sneaking
You can see he's prepared a far bat.
Oh yeah, as well as preparing a fire bat. So that's going to be very helpful against these lings and sneaking an SCV around just to see the ling count and just kind of being aware. And look at even more lings coming out. So MyFleetingDream, you're right, knows exactly what's coming. And it's just a matter of how they want to counter it. Right now, they're not constructing a bunker or anything like that. They're just reliant on this fire bat medic with the Marines behind. And I think with good control, they should be able to hold this. Wow, Diggurd actually building a hatch now just outside the Nat for Terran. So, not sure what to make of this play. Maybe Sunkens? I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of sunken push, right? I mean, Diggurd doesn't have any kind of tech, or he doesn't even have a lair or anything like that. So, I do think he's going to do some kind of sunken push. But honestly, he has 8 drones though. If he's going to sunken push, you got to make more drones, right?
Yeah, and the factory goes down for MyFleetingDream. So MyFleetingDream staying on one base, I think it's just countering exactly what Diggurd's doing here. So this is really, wow, more and more links coming across the map. I gotta say, this is a smart play from Terran though. Just massing fire bats, man. Why not? Fire bats and medics.
And a scan did go off for MyFleetingDream, so he sees the main. He sees everything,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
He knows Diggurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows Diggurd's going mass circling. But the one saving grace that Diggurd does have is that I don't think his hatchery was spotted. So this could come as a surprise to MyFleetingDream. Although it kind of plays into what you were saying earlier about the factory, right? Once that if MyFleetingDream does go for siege tanks, he's gonna hard counter what Diggurd is, right?
Yeah, or even let's say a dropship could counter exactly what Diggurd's doing here. But you're right, a siege tank and a slow push would destroy these Sunkens and totally keep MyFleetingDream safe in this game. So we'll see what they decide to do here. It looks like they will be going straight for that starport. Yeah, so I wonder if this factory will be kind of, kind of quiet and not build anything.
Yeah, this is definitely a mistake from MyFleetingDream. He sees it now, though. He sees the Sunkens morphing, but...
I don't know about this move out here. All these lings are getting a flank here. Trading pretty well, really, considering. And even more lings coming around. They might be able to clean this up. I don't know. This Sunken's doing a lot of jobs tanking. And if the fire bats don't turn and kill those lings... Okay, so now the lings are all dying from the fire bat. And I think this is it. There's not much Diggurd can do now.
Yeah, I think this is all she wrote. I like the idea from Diggurd. It was definitely something you don't see every day.
Yeah, I think the Sunkens actually did help.
Yeah, MyFleetingDream, his build just countered it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing really else to say about it, right? Because he had the terrific build advantage, and kudos for him building so many fire bats, which just absolutely destroyed the server, right?
Yeah, I gotta say, as well as the build, but also the scouting that comes with it, of knowing exactly how to alter your build to, like you said, mass those fire bats. So, well played game.
Quick first game between these two players. Definitely an interesting game. Let's see if Diggurd will play standard next time, or will he bring another unique build to the game. Alright, so this will be game 2 between Diggurd and MyFleetingDream. Terran vs Zerg on the map Goodnight.
Yeah, so again, a little bit of a maybe non-standard map. We have Diggurd spawning in the bottom right as the brown Zerg, and MyFleetingDream as the blue Terran in the top right. So because this is a 4-player map, maybe a little easier for Diggurd to deny scouting if that's what he chooses to do and play a aggressive build. On Butter, you're going to first scout it every time, so it's kind of hard as Zerg to hide what's going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this map is actually non-standard though. This is a ladder map, if I am not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely a ton of games have already been played on this map.
Yeah, and it does have kind of
about this.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think the cool thing about this is that the natural has two entrances, right? Instead of like usually one, right? One entrance is by a ramp flanked by two eggs, and the other one like just leads to your third. If you kind of get what I'm saying, right? It's got two entrances instead of one, so that's a little bit unique. Um, Potentially some flanking play if mass zerglings are used again, right? But again, we'll see what these two players do.
Yeah, we see Diggurd going down, looking like they're sending out a scout actually here.
Yeah, and it looks like we have standard play from both players right now. A 12 hatch is going to go down for Diggurd. He is going to get lucky a bit, and since his Overlord will have first scout, and he'll be able to float that over the cliff, overseeing the natural Terran. Really, really useful for Zergs when they do that, so you can spot Terran move outs, right? Fleeting Dream a little bit unlucky, as he's probably going to get last scout, unless he does some kind of like a Z or an N pattern, right? Scouting, but yeah, most likely as Terran, if you don't see the Zerg in your first scout, you do have to send out another SCV just in case the Zerg is doing some kind of Zergling rush or something like that, right? It's too late for a single scout spot.
Yeah, definitely. I think my Fleeting Dream, considering the last game, would be wise to double scout here. And they are indeed sending out their second SCV, it looks like, to maybe check the other starting location. Seeing the drone with that initial SCV and the Overlord here, they may even be able to... Yeah, they're sending their first SCV back because they must have figured out by now Diggurd is in the bottom right.
And look at this, RoyalBlue. My Fleeting Dream sticking by his guns. He's going for that gas and an academy. So do you think it'll be a one base play again? Like one base, two Barracks Academy and Factory?
I definitely think we're going to see the same build. I'm wondering if Diggurd is going to switch things up. It looks like already they've gathered 100 gas. Let's see what they go for with their first 100. Maybe Lair here.
Yeah, Diggurd definitely playing a more standard game, right? Yeah. He is going for Zergling speed.
Yeah, and more lanes being built here at the net as well. So my Fleeting Dream alarm bells must be going off in your mind, I think, if you see this as Terran.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job of keeping his SCV alive in Diggurd's base, so he will see the Zergling move out, and he will see everything. But I can't help but think that is Diggurd continuing to make Zerglings? Let's see. Oh no, he's not. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say if Diggurd was kind of gonna go like mass Zerglings again, it wouldn't really work since my Fleeting Dream is basically doing a counter to it, right? He already has a fire bat, and look at this. My Fleeting Dream moving out with 4 Marines and 1 fire bat and 1 medic. But the medic is not following.
And the fire bat's moving out from the ramp, so these lings are gonna get right in for a run by, and this puts a wrench right in my Fleeting Dream's plans because 1, they're gonna lose a fire bat here, maybe even 2, and their move out has been forced to retreat and return back to base to try to defend these SCVs.
Yeah, this has to be annoying for my Fleeting Dream. I mean, this won't kill Diggurd. This won't kill my Fleeting Dream story, but Diggurd has forced back that small attacking army from my Fleeting Dream, right? And also by doing that, he sees what my Fleeting Dream is doing, right? He sees that it's not factory, right? It's not some kind of mech play. Or else because there was no factory now, he would have had it already, right? And yeah, you can see already a sunken colony up at Diggurd's base. So I don't think that this renewed push from my Fleeting Dream is going to do anything. And looks like Diggurd is setting up for another counterattack. This must be so annoying for my Fleeting Dream to deal with.
Yeah, definitely these repeated counterattacks are so strong, and Diggurd is making good use of them, and he's going to see the CC building and just run right into the main and try to deny this factory, which is being built. And I think this is wise, because if you look down at Diggurd's base, Diggurd is producing a Hydralisk den, so they may even want to switch into Lurkers, but again, they're forcing my Fleeting Dream back to the main with all their units to try to defend their SCV line.
Yeah, the longer that MyFleetingDream is kept in his base, I mean, the more time for Diggurd to get. I assume it's got to be lurkers, right? Since he's got that Hydralisk den in the lair, right?
Yes, I think lurkers is the only thing you can go for here, but we'll see what Diggurd ends up doing.
Another thing I want to point out is that if you look at their worker count, right? Zerg has more workers than Terran. Whenever you see that, you know the Terran is in the world of hurt, right? These Zergling attacks have been so devastating.
Yeah, and as we can see now, like, MyFleetingDream is not even producing workers, instead deciding to build from the barracks. So I wonder if they're worried again about a Ling all-in, and they've decided they don't need that much more workers. Okay, now they've started again SCV production.
Look at this micro from Diggurd. He's pulling the group of Marine medics or trying to out of position so he can get a run by. Do you see it's all good?
Yeah, like half the Lings are dancing in front, and then the rest are waiting in a hidden location. They're going to try to sneak in, which is a good tactic from Zerg. Definitely something MyFleetingDream has most likely seen before, but you can definitely fall to it. And a Queen's Nest goes down from Zerg. And there's the money scan, so he does see the 2 Hydras popping, sees the Hydralisk Den and the Queen's Nest going down. So
look at this counterattack though. MyFleetingDream is completely unaware of it. This is a lot of Zerglings, 12 Zerglings. The fire bats are not in position and are going to get picked off.
Oh no, and again MyFleetingDream being caught out on the map, a little bit out of position here. And Diggurd's going to get right into the main. Still, this factory's going up, so that's one good thing for Terran. They are teching behind all this. They've got their scanners.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even if this Zergling counterattack doesn't do that much damage, it's bought the time. It's bought the time. Look, Diggurd's 5 lurkers are almost finished morphing.
Yeah.
Right, and these 5 lurkers will stop this, like, it's paltry, right? A tiny Marine force coming to attack his base, right? They're never going to pierce through 5 lurkers.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think if Terran sees these lurkers, they would be wise to turn around. There may be some stop lurkers here, though, because I think they're within range, right? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, they are stop lurkers. FleetingDream, moments away from disaster. Who's a little bit closer, right? The trap will be sprung.
Diggurd going for the pimpest plays here. Let's see if this works out.
Diggurd, man, with the solid control, the constant counterattacks, he's channeling his inner Jadon, with the micro.
Oh, a Ling goes in.
He's trying to
luring only one Marine.
He's trying to lure Marines with the...
Okay, here we go. This has got to be it.
He's got to spring it now. They're both in range.
Come on now. Oh, there we go.
He unleashes the trap. Every single Terran unit gets picked off. Yeah, he's gonna kill that medic, right?
Yeah, he better. 12 HP, the medic is running, but 4 Lings are on its tail, and the medic goes down. So now what does MyFleetingDream do? Hurriedly setting up 2 more bunkers at the Nat. They must be aware that lurkers are out now, and they just have to buy time to get siege tanks out in siege mode. They've got a starport finishing here. This 3 bunkers, it may actually work here. We'll see. Here come the lurkers. Oh, and they just burrow out of range, so MyFleetingDream may live to fight another day here. Wow, look at more and more Lings coming in, though. I think Diggurd is going to go for this. Maybe once they see the first tank, they might try to dive on it?
Yeah, these triple desperation bunkers from MyFleetingDream really saving him.
Yes, I like it.
He was minutes away from disaster, but I don't know if Diggurd will try, though. 3 bunkers in a tank?
Yeah.
That's a tough, break for Zerg.
For sure.
If you look back at his base, though, he already has his Defiler mound on the way, and FleetingDream sees it.
Yeah.
So when you're in this position as Terran, right, you know you're on a timer, right? You know you're on a timer, because once Zerg gets that Dark Swarm up, it's over, right? With no room to maneuver, it's over.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if siege mode is even finished here for Terran. They're using their unsiege tanks to try to force back the lurkers, but they have to scan, and the Lings will just come in and tank the shots during the scan. But slowly forcing the Zerg back. And like you said, there is a timer and Terran knows it, so they have to get more and more ground out on the map to save themselves from the Dark Swarm. And it looks like one drop
coming out.
Yeah.
But crucially, WorldBlue, crucially, MyFleetingDream hasn't even started his science facility. He needs those irradiates to pick up those defilers, or else he will have no chance. And I mean, I like this drop counter, I really do, but if you go back to Diggurd's face, he's got 4 Hydras and a Lurker positioned behind his mineral lines. I mean, the only thing these like Marines are going to drop to is their depths.
We'll see. He gets past the 4 Hydras, so already this drop is doing better than I thought it would. But you're right. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that.
WorldBlue, I think we're having some latency issues, man.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix this. Okay, is that better at all?
That is quite a lot better.
That's weird. Okay. So this drop actually did pay off, it looks like. It was, I think, a very kind of desperate or like Hail Mary drop, going for the dropship so fast. But here he is in the main of Diggurd, taking out the Hydra Den, killing a lot of drones. But here come the 2 defilers, so this may end up not really mattering so much, this drop.
Yeah, I do think that he did a good job with this drop.
Oh, is he going to get these defilers?
Oh, that would be huge.
Oh, losing so many Marines, though. Oh, no. So, kind of a second of hope there. I gotta say, MyFleetingDream has a lot of resources right now. So they could add on some barracks, maybe, or take their nat gas. That would also help them.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to say earlier is the drop did do good damage, but it doesn't change the fundamental state of the game, right? FleetingDream has no way to deal with these defilers. He almost pulled an insane comeback if he like those 2 defilers, but 1 defiler lives, and you can see Dark Swarm down at the natural, and Aaron has nowhere to go. And, I mean, FleetingDream has a lot of minerals, but it's not mineral units he needs. It's the gas units, like fire bats, the gas units, like vessels that he needs to counter this play, and he just doesn't have the gas either.
Yeah, and here comes Dark Swarm into the natural for Terran, so this is pretty much it for MyFleetingDream, but it looks like they're going to try to defend at the top of their ramp. This is usually pretty devastating for Terran, but I think they're hoping that they've done some damage to Zerg's infrastructure and that they can stay in this game as kind of a 1-base Terran. And look at these fire bats fighting under Dark Swarm, so MyFleetingDream not giving up here. Kind of repairing this bunker and putting fire bats in it. I think this could actually do good. It kills quite a few Zerglings there. Yeah, I don't think Siege Mode is out.
Yeah, these fire bats are doing work, but I mean, FleetingDream, he's against the ropes, man. He's pinned against the ropes, fighting for his dear life. That 1 bunker, again, on top of the ramp, doing some serious work. But I think it's too little too late, His naturals have been breached, and his defiler is coming up. He's going to spam another Dark Swarm, probably all over the barracks.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a brutal Dark Swarm, but even so, like, it looks like Terran might be able to hold on here. Look at they've oh man, the Lurkers died just in time. I was gonna say, if those Lurkers get under Dark Swarm there, it is GG, because all those SCVs are gonna have to retreat, and he won't be mining from the main even. But as it is, MyFleetingDream has 35 workers, so they can replenish their nat mineral line now that they've cleared their nat and start mining from there. And what does Diggurd has? Diggurd has 17, so definitely not exactly a high eco game from Zerg. And if
what Diggurd has? He has a 3rd base at MyFleetingDream's mineral only. Honestly, I can't tell if this is like a manor hatch. He thought he was going to win, or is he serious about taking that base?
Yeah, it's definitely can get sieged down, I think, from tanks on the high ground, maybe. So I don't know if I would go for this base. But
I honestly don't know if this was like a manor hatch because he thought that he was going to win with that push, or is he serious about like taking this hatch? Yeah. Doesn't even have gas, right? So.
Oh, and he scans it, and he's just gonna stim and go kill it now, I think. Huh?
It's like you don't often see more fire bats than Marines in MyFleetingDream's composition. But it could turn out to his favor, though. I mean, Diggurd, all he has is a bunch of lings right now, right? So
yeah. Yeah, both these players kind of staying on relatively few bases and workers, I would say. But this game's been pretty action-packed, so I can understand why. Like Diggurd's just staying on the aggression, so that hatch, I don't really understand the purpose. Maybe it distracted MyFleetingDream a little bit, so Diggurd could set up the 6 o'clock base.
Yeah, you know, one thing crucially for MyFleetingDream is that you can see he has been remaking his SCV, so he's up to 44. He's still making more at the main, so his economy is back on track. But Diggurd, he's playing a 15 drone economy on 3 base. I mean, I know Zerg can get away with like a shoestring budget, but I mean, you gotta make more drones than just that.
For sure, I agree with you on that. Terran showing the ability to macro during this game and continually produce workers, while Diggurd is locked in on building fighting units, basically. Building a few more drones, up to 19 now, but having to produce so many units to keep Terran back in their base has made it so Diggurd's eco is not as good as it wants to be.
Yeah, and his only defiler was irradiated by the science vessel, so you know what? MyFleetingDream, he might have made a comeback. You know, he was against the ropes, but never give up. You know, fighting spirit. He might have done it. You know.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like, oh, here we go. A drop into the main for MyFleetingDream, and there's nothing here to defend it for Diggurd. So it's going to kill a lot of drones there, which is drones, you know, Zerg can't really afford to lose. I think the Hydralisk Den goes down, and now focusing on the spawning pool. Wow, nice micro here. These Firebats are doing work. Is he going to get the spawning pool? Nope. 13 HP and the upgrade finishing.
Yeah, the crack upgrade just finishes for the Zergling. And, you know, for those who don't know, the crack upgrade is an adrenal gland, so they make the Zerglings attack faster. And that is huge, right? The Zergling is one of the best units in StarCraft. Definitely S tier unit in the late game. But hold that thought. MyFleetingDream coming across the map with what seems to be a doom push.
Yeah, is this the death push here? We see Terran has 3 tanks, a good amount of Marine Medics, and this 1 science vessel. What does Diggurd have at the 6 o'clock base? Nothing right now. 6 Lings, and those are going to die pretty much immediately here.
Yeah, I mean, Diggurd does have 5 lurkers at his natural, but they're all out of position, right? And if he attacks up here, it's going to be a Zerg barbecue.
Definitely can't go up that ramp into these siege tanks, so Diggurd is kind of forced around here. Ooh, losing more lurkers to those siege tank shots. Here's the Defiler though, so Dark Swarm goes up. And the siege tank...
Nice Dark Swarm.
Yeah.
He'll be able to save his hatchery, but all the drones are basically already dead. Back down to 15 drones, and his last filer irradiated.
Yeah, and now
Diggurd's just gonna walk by. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I thought he was just gonna walk by this swarm and go up.
Diggurd's bank has disappeared as well, as MyFleetingDream's bank has, you know, been reinforced here, even though MyFleetingDream is just on these 2 bases.
Another drop at the main for Diggurd.
Oh, man.
Using even more drones.
So I don't think Diggurd has a Spire here, so it's going to be really hard for them to deal with the drops as well as the science vessels.
Yeah, he's just getting a Spire now, but honestly, it feels a little bit too little too late, and Diggurd has basically sub 100 mineral economy, right? And I don't know, man. I mean, he's got lurkers now on his 3rd on the high ground, but with no Dark Swarm, they're just basically waiting for the tanks to kill them.
Or a scan here. Oh, they're getting submarines. This is actually pretty nice for Zerg to get this trade. But as you said, the game state has swung so dramatically. These drops have devastated the economy. Another drop coming into the main here. And I don't know what Diggurd has to defend this. Wow, I can't believe MyFleetingDream here. Staying in the game with Dark Swarm in the main, not even in the nat. And turning it all around here. Scanning. Going up to the 6 o'clock base and destroying all the drones and the hatch. Dropping into the main. Diggurd most likely a little bit shocked here to be in this position now.
Yeah, Diggurd is basically on one base. I mean, he's got that other base at the bottom left natural, but honestly, it's got like 2 drones. It's not even a factor. Looks like Diggurd is going to try to go for another counterattack with Lings. But honestly, like, MyFleetingDream is having none of that. He's left so many units behind. And a good game comes out for Diggurd.
Damn.
So MyFleetingDream will take that, will take this series 2-0.
Wow, good game and good series right there.
Blue, just before we start, I just want to point out I actually, it's my bad. The game names they're labeled in the wrong order, so we should have showed the Neo Sylphid game first instead of the Butter. But the order was like
Wait, we showed
reversed.
Butter and then we played. Wait, wasn't it Poly last map? Or what was the last map?
No, that was Good Night.
Good Night.
So,
sorry. So Good Night
so
and then Butter. That should be the order.
No. But what I'm trying to say is that because this is week 1, it should have been Neo Sylphid, Good Night, and then Butter. But because the games were like labeled in the wrong order, and I didn't notice that.
Oh,
like,
I see.
I hosted it. You know what I mean? I hosted it backwards, so we were.
Yeah. So we know the answers now, but MyFleetingDream is saying the maps were casted out of order, so that means we didn't cast one of the games, right? Is that what's happening?
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I thought. I thought MyFleetingDream won 2-0 because it's best of 2. But since there are 3 games, obviously it's 2-1. I mean,
Unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, but we might as well just cast the last one.
Let's do it.
You want to hop in?
Yeah.
Probably turn down the turn rate off dynamic as well. Actually, don't know why it's we're having some latency issues. I always play with you, right? So
Yeah.
and we never have latency issues.
So that means Good Night was the deciding game. Good Night was game 3. Because that was pretty epic if that was the deciding one.
No, Butter would have been the deciding game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the first it's Sylphid, Good Night, and then Butter, right?
Ah, okay. Well, now we know for the next one.
Apologies to any of the viewers. Be more careful next time.
Okay, here we go.
So, this technically should have been game 1 between these 2 players, and it's played on Neo Sylphid between Diggurd and MyFleetingDream. Neo Sylphid, definitely an older map. I think this is like the latest version, 2.0. Although honestly, I don't even know what the difference is. Honestly, like I haven't kept up with the different versions.
Yeah, I'm not too aware of that one either. But I like this map. A lot of people say that the top spawn is really good for mineral mining, so maybe Diggurd is happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. Some spawns are actually better than other spawns. I think it's one of those things that some newer StarCraft players might not know, because everyone keeps saying StarCraft is such a balanced game, and don't get me wrong, it is definitely one of the most balanced RTSs out there. But yeah, different locations actually allow for faster mining actually. And of course, like different locations for different races are better, right? There's some bases, for example, this is a Terran versus Zerg, right? And you see Mutalisk Micro a lot of times in this matchup. Some bases are actually easier to defend from Mutalisk Micro, especially their naturals, right? So,
Definitely.
keep that in mind, right?
Yeah, this map, especially the naturals, can be harassed pretty easily with Mutalisk. So maybe Diggurd will opt to go for that kind of a strategy. We did not see mutas in either of the other two games though.
So going back over to Diggurd's base, it is 12 hatch with gas sowing. It's super standard stuff. Everything seems standard from MyFleetingDream as well. I don't see a gas coming down, so maybe he will play standard Marine Medic, but we'll see. Both players going to get first scout, so they're going to know exactly what they're up against.
Yeah, there's the gas from MyFleetingDream, so...
Yeah, I guess I take that back. Looks like he's probably gonna do the same build again, right? With the Barracks Academy, second Barracks Factory, one base play, right?
Yeah, most likely that's what we're going to be seeing here. It does look like the same gas timing. So this is the first game, so it may come as a surprise to Diggurd to run into this type of play style, because this is not necessarily standard compared to what Zerg is doing.
For sure. You know what this build kind of reminds me of from MyFleetingDream? It kind of reminds me of like 2004 or earlier. I don't know if you remember those times. I mean, I wasn't a really big StarCraft fan back then, but sometimes I just go to like YouTube and I watch like the games from 1999 or something. Like it seems like this was like the original meta. But as I say that, look at this bunker coming down at the natural from MyFleetingDream. Diggurd is now scrambling to
defend with
try to kill them.
drones.
Yeah, but his Zerglings are out now, right? And the bunker's nowhere close to finish, so he should be 100%.
Yeah, I like the idea of this attack here, but I think he saw the spawning pool timing, so he should have known that there really wasn't a timing to set up a bunker here. And with only 1 racks of production, Terran is at risk of just being overwhelmed here by a Zerg counterattack. Again, we see like 4 Marines and 1 medic, and they're doing a move out. And Diggurd not, posing themselves a threat to counterattack, instead just retreating. And there goes the Hydralisk Den. So is this sunken gonna be in time? Or are these 4 Marines going to be able to push the Zerg mat? Wow, there's the stim, and the Sunk's halfway done. He's going to go back and try to fight these Marines against the Lings, but there's too many Lings here, I think. Yeah, and this force gets cleaned up relatively easily by the Zerg.
Arbat coming in to join the fray, but just a little bit too late. And yeah, that was really ambitious from MyFleetingDream. Even that bunker was really, really ambitious, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that,
and this command center follow-up is going to be kind of scouted by these Lings and then denied. So that's definitely annoying as well. But there is a good amount of Firebats out on the map now. Uh-oh, if he loses this Marine Medic, though, these Firebats are going to be unsupported. Yeah, now we just have like 3 Firebats per Terran, period. We don't see any more units out for them right now, so they definitely need to, definitely need to...
Flamethrowers are pretty good.
Yeah, the flamethrowers are good, but they need something else to reinforce, especially if there's tech outside of Zerglings coming. But 1 medic is enough here. Or is it? We'll see. The Lings diving on top of those Firebats. Really good Firebat hits go off, though. And the Lings make it into the main, but there's only 6 of them left.
Nevertheless, they do delay MyFleetingDream a bit. Just being annoying, picking off SCVs here and there.
Yeah, definitely being annoying. And this engineering bay has been at half finished for the longest time.
Though Diggurd gets a full scout off, so he knows exactly where MyFleetingDream is at, right? And that's always nice. And we do see double bunkers coming up at the front. So MyFleetingDream is obviously aware that it looks like it's going to be like a lurker follow-up from Diggurd again.
Yeah, we see the lurkers beginning to morph here in the middle of the map, and Diggurd's doing a great job with the Lynx keeping MyFleetingDream back in the base. So this is allowing these lurkers to kind of morph wherever they want, and they're just going to be able to walk right here to the Terran net.
Yeah, by not contesting it out on the field, I think Diggurd is going to be able to get some kind of contain on MyFleetingDream. But I mean, it doesn't mean that MyFleetingDream is dead by any stretch, right? He's getting his third bunker. 3 bunkers are definitely enough to hold off a great number of lurkers. I honestly don't know how many lurkers they can hold off, but it definitely is a lot.
There's only like 5 Marines in these bunkers, but like you said, if they're repaired properly, they can definitely live against lurkers for a long time. I just worry about MyFleetingDream's tech right now. They do not have a factory at all, so that's going to hurt them against these lurkers. And as we've seen from Diggurd, here's the Queen's Nest going down, so Diggurd may end up going into Defilers as we saw in that other game, and the late tech is going to be an issue. Here is the factory going down though, actually, so it's around maybe a quarter finished.
Right, yeah, and now we see the contain, right, begin.
Yeah.
He's got a complete contain around MyFleetingDream, and just as in that other game, I think it was on Good Night, right? Timer's coming down, right, for the Terran.
For sure. Even though there's very few drones out again for Diggurd, with this kind of a tech rush, it almost doesn't matter because Zerg is rushing for these Defilers that are just so strong. They can put up a really good attack even with very little eco behind it.
Yeah. Diggurd continuing to flood down Zerglings, even Hydralisks, and more lurkers. Hive on the way. Fallerden will probably be in short order if he does not attack, but looks like he might be going for attack. He's unburled his lurkers.
Yeah, the Terran has stimmed and filled the bunkers. They're going to need to repair though. Here come the lurkers. The Hydra's also doing good DPS on these bunkers. And both the bunkers go down. Oh, and all the Marines get destroyed by those lurker spikes. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this looks really, really bad. Diggurd now coming in the main. He's putting his lurkers right on the choke.
Yeah, so these SCVs are trapped if they go into the GG. Wow.
So apologies once again. That was actually the first game, so the score is actually 2-1 for MyFleetingDream. I'm gonna make sure these are, these are labeled correctly this time. First check. Okay. So the second, our second series will be Eros-Koaty versus Caravaggio. And the map is Sylphid, so got it right this time. Second time's the charm, right? Okay, so in the 12 o'clock position, we have Eros-Koaty as the Terran player. And in the bottom left position, we have Caravaggio as another Terran player.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to see a nice Terran vs Terran series. And it starts out on Sylphid, so, this should be exciting to watch. These two, top-level Terrans go at it here for CPL.
I don't know if exciting is the right word to describe Terran versus Terran. I mean, in my experience, man, these things can go on for half an hour or longer, so...
Well, I gotta say, with the matches today that I saw we were gonna cast, I was like, I know a lot of these players. I'm not too familiar with either of these players, so it'll definitely be, for me, it's exciting to see how they play and learn a little bit about what Terran vs Terran can look like.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Caravaggio, but I do know Koaty somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's definitely a great player. He's gotten A rank before, so this season, so he's definitely a good player. And you know what? You know what? Just hold that thought. Look at Caravaggio's APM, man. He is holding that low constantly. Like there is no tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely
Either
getting the
that,
advantage here in the APM counter.
either that, or he has like 20 fingers, man. Spamming the keyboard right now. So
Yeah, this is some bot level APM. Even, Koaty is doing pretty well with 500. That's definitely respectable.
yeah, just a cool 500 APM to start the game off with. All right. Looks like both players, honestly, they're doing super, super standard builds. 12 gas, barracks in faster scout locations. The reason why they're not building it at their choke or anything is that, unlike the other matchups, there's nothing really to wall against, right? So you might as well build your barracks for the fastest scout time, because in this matchup, you do scout with your barracks, right? Caravaggio with a little bit of a advantage since he's going to get first scout. But again, not that big of a deal. Not at this stage, anyway.
Yeah, Koaty placing their factory down here a little bit ahead of Caravaggio. But it looks like it's going to, be fine as both these players are going for what looks like a gas factory expand build as they take both their additional SCVs off gas. But here is the scout, and he's going to see that there's only one SCV on gas and feel pretty comfortable that the other Terran, Koaty, is expanding here. But 2 Marines being produced to try to fend off this SCV.
Look at this WugsaW. Look at Caravaggio's base. He's taking all his SCVs off gas. Is this a mistake, or is he just trying to get like a faster command center or something, man?
Yeah, now I think this is a sign that the command center will be taken as soon as possible. And then a vulture has to be produced because, yeah, as we see, Caravaggio doesn't even have enough gas for the add-on here. So maybe even 2 vultures before add-on we may end up seeing here. Which, it doesn't make a huge difference, but Koaty is pulling ahead on the gas as we see. So this may allow them to tech faster, which can be very important in Terran vs. Terran.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out a little something about how good Koaty is. You see that despite Koaty not pulling all his SCVs off gas and everything, he had a faster factory and a faster command center. And now this is probably due to the fact that like Koaty has a better like mining at the beginning, because there's some tricks, especially for example if you spawn on like the right side of the map, right? You know about it, right? There's like some patches mine faster and stuff. And both these players are tier 0, so at this level it does actually count, right? And it also kind of goes to what we were talking about before, how some spawns just have better mining.
Yes, that top middle
just
spawn.
keep that in mind, guys. Okay, so now we see some action happening. Caravaggio trying to break Koaty right now. 2 vultures versus 1.
Yeah, and with no SCVs out to repair just yet for Koaty, both those vultures are going to take out the vulture for Koaty. So Caravaggio with a little bit of an advantage here, killing those 2 Marines, but not really delaying that command center. So pretty even so far.
Yeah, I would say the exchange was pretty even. Nothing serious done. Koaty is a sliver ahead. He's ahead in SCVs, and I think he's going to be ahead in supply in just a second. Or no, not really, because they're even on supply. Yeah, but I would still say Koaty is a bit ahead since he does have a higher SCV count, and that's probably due to the fact his command center finished faster, right?
Yeah, we see Koaty and actually Caravaggio as well, both going for speed and basically mass vulture off 3 factories, which is very common in TVT. So it may just become, a vulture war of who can produce the most. And in that case, you definitely do want to have the higher SCV count in the early game.
Yeah, that is correct. But Also, if you look at Caravaggio, he is completely stopped producing SCV, so he is basically all in on this vulture war.
Ah.
He's in it to win it with just the vultures, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this could pay off. Koaty has a better economy, but doesn't matter if you have a better economy if you have no army, right? And now the attack starts.
I think Koaty just has enough to hold this, but we'll see. Like you said, there's a strong defender's advantage in this attack. So even though Caravaggio has cut workers, Koaty is able to hold on there, fighting so close to their own factories. And it's 4 factories against 5 finishing up now for Caravaggio. But I don't think it matters with this worker count disparity that we see here. I think 1 extra factory won't make that big of a difference. And here we see another one going down for Koaty, so they will be matching that factory count. Yeah, both the racks are... Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, both the racks are still alive, so they're able to see, okay, you know, they're just massing vultures, and they have this many factories, so I just need to max match their account, or their production, so that way I can have the same amount of units. And we see very similar supply counts for both these players.
Yeah, but it's as you mentioned earlier, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Koaty, right? Caravaggio has 1 timing so far behind the workers, and a vulture on vulture violence in the middle of the map happening right now. Looks like Caravaggio might just have the advantage, but again, they're fighting closer to Koaty's side of the map, right? So he will have defender's advantage. And
yeah, but this might be too much that Caravaggio can snowball it if they win the fight decisively, which they kind of have. They have 8 vultures left, and there's only 3 reinforcing here from Koaty. So if Caravaggio can keep reinforcing this vulture group, I think this might be too much. But here we do see a tank out, but there is mines, so this tank may have come at the wrong time as the mines... Ooh, the tank survives with only 7 HP, 6... Okay, so now the tank does get taken out, but that bought Koaty enough time to kind of stabilize.
oh, I'm not sure. More vultures flooding down for Caravaggio. Koaty in a lot of trouble right now.
GG. Wow.
Yeah, Caravaggio hitting that sweet spot, right? That sweet spot before Koaty could his economy advantage could really kick in. And I also think what really did him in is Koaty tried to switch over to siege tanks when he didn't have a clear like lead in the vulture war, right?
Yes.
The thing is when you're in a vulture war, there's only 2 situations where you want to switch into the siege, right? That's one is if you want like the first big vulture engagement, so you know that you kind of have control and time to build it, or barring that, you really have to sit inside your base, like kind of like was behind Sim City, right? Or else, you know, you'll just die, right? As we saw. All right, game 2 between Koaty and Caravaggio on Good Night. Yeah, I just want to point out, look at Caravaggio's APM, 3.2k or 3k APM. That's going down now, but that's quite something.
Yeah, so we see Koaty here spawning as the pink Terran in the bottom right, and Caravaggio spawning as the, I want to say, gray Terran in the bottom left. And Goodnight has a lot of those kind of high grounds, or those like high ground pod type areas. You know what I'm saying? So that can make it interesting for TVT, right? If you're able to control those high grounds, you can cut off a lot of the map.
Yeah, the way this map is built though, it's really splittable. So I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if we see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a 40-minute TVT. But like honestly though, you never know, right?
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
So I just can't get over how Caravaggio can get like 2.4k APM. Like that's. I mean, he must be holding down the keys really hard, but yeah. Well, let's see what both players bring to the table again. Might just be Vulture Wars again, and might be something different.
Yeah, what I like about Vulture Wars is it does have the potential to end really fast, right? Like we saw in the last game, one side just gets a slight advantage in one fight, and then it just kind of snowballs that they're able to reinforce slightly faster or at the same rate, and their DPS is just so high, you know?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, even if you do lose that initial Vulture War, if you sit behind like, at your natural with a Sim City, you're not gonna die. Another guy could have like 50 more Vultures, man. It wouldn't matter if you have like a depot wall and you got tanks behind, right?
Yeah, but you don't have the time to transition into tanks, you know, because you're so committed to Vultures, is what we saw in the last one anyway.
I think the reason why it's because Koaty moved out.
Yeah.
He fought a second Vulture skirmish and he lost. Had he sat at his own base with those Vultures behind the wall, I mean, he would have still been okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Tanks would have, yeah. But yeah, let's get back to this game though. Caravaggio, look at that man. He's channeling my favorite build, which is the 14cc. But unfortunately for him, he's got the same amount of luck as I do. He always gets first scouted when I try this. So
yeah, so we're gonna see how good this SCV micro is from Caravaggio, as they are trying to defend their initial racks from this SCV from Koaty, who's gonna scout everything and then it looks like just leave.
yeah, he's seen enough, man. He's seen enough, and he's disgusted. He's disgusted at a 14cc opening.
Still mining gas actually is Koaty, so maybe a second factory or perhaps starports on the way, I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if he threw down another factory. 2 factory and then tank is definitely a way you can deal with, you know, 14cc, factory, starport. I mean, there's a ton of different ways you can deal with it. And you can see immediately Adam going down, starport going down.
So this is going to look like Tank Wraith to me. And I think that's pretty strong. It just depends on how Caravaggio wants to counter it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely going to be hard for Caravaggio to counter it, right? Because Koaty, he didn't skip a beat, you know, getting his starport right after. And yeah, that's the risk. That's the risk with going 14cc, you know, get scouted first, get punished, right?
Yeah.
So, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Caravaggio is dead. I mean, obviously, with good enough, like, positioning, micro, etc., or lack of micro, if you screw up on the other side, right, you can definitely survive, but I'd definitely place Koaty in the lead again.
Yeah, Caravaggio going for a starport of their own as a follow-up, and they are going for that second gas. So getting the second gas is going to be very helpful in this because it's going to allow them to produce pretty much constant, you know, Tank Wraith over, you know, even more production than what Koaty has. It's just going to be delayed, and I think the delayed Wraith is not going to come in as handy as you would think against this, because Koaty might even have 2 Wraiths out by the time Caravaggio has 1, and that will be very bad for Caravaggio.
Yeah, you got it. In these early game engagements in TVT, especially with Wraiths and stuff, it really does snowball, right? Yeah. But on the other hand, if Caravaggio can like retain his mining for long enough, his economy might allow him to power up more units, since Koaty is basically still on 1 base, right? Natural only going up. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Is this an SCV pull immediately? Oh, he's gonna come and try to repair this bunker, maybe to buy some time. This first Wraith is out, and it's gonna get in the SCV line. And this first tank is, you know, wailing away at this bunker. This looks like a tough situation to be in if you're Caravaggio. Here's the siege tank. This siege mode gonna start taking out this enemy tank. Oh, the repair is massive here. Wow. So he does manage to save that tank, at least for the time being. But here's another tank sieging up, and the Wraith goes down. GG. Wow. That was quick.
Yeah, that was crazy. Caravaggio with the clutch repair. Like he was one tank shot away from, you know, things going the other way for him, right?
Yeah.
Well done by Caravaggio. So quick 2-0 for Caravaggio over Eros.Koaty. Quick TBT. That's what we like to see, right? No one likes to watch super long TBTs. Well, except for maybe in the blind, he likes it. That's what he said. He likes TBT a lot.
We have someone in chat saying we're a little quiet, so I tried turning us up. Please let me know if it's better. And so here we are into our next series. It looks like this one's going to be played between Doodle and George, right? So George is our green Zerg, spawning here in the top right, or in the
you mean
right?
bottom right?
Yeah, there you go. And why don't you tell me where Doodle is spawning?
Well, I can't really tell you because I never graduated from like elementary school, so I can't even count that high. Seems to be the top-ish position of the map. Well, what number is that?
I have
Bro,
no
you
idea.
gotta help me out here.
What is this?
But yeah, George playing on his Brita Perry account. So definitely a community fan. you ever watched that sitcom?
Yeah, definitely a classic sitcom. I've seen quite a few of those community names. Even I think you have one, Shroom. So.
What, like Annie something? I forgot her last name. And there's like Jeff Winger.
Yeah, Annie.
I think that's chill.
That's you.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, Shroom.
Yeah, first scout coming out from DoodleDoodle. He's gonna see everything in George's base. Now this can be so annoying. If like the Zerg was trying like a 12 hatch or something against this, like that probe would be all up in his natural forever, right? You'd never get like a hatchery down. But fortunately for him, George was actually going pool first, so you know, not that big of a deal, right? From DoodleDoodle, we see a forge opening. Super standard as well. Probably gonna drop a cannon once he sees like lings spawning out of that those eggs at the main at the hatch. Yeah, he preemptively puts 2 already. Yeah, and you know there's a little bit of a trick you can do for those like people who've just started playing StarCraft. If you see 3 eggs spawning or like spawning at the same or morphing at the same time at the early game, chances are they're Zerglings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because Zergs they like to get 6 at a time. But if it's like 1 egg and then like 1 larvae like squirming around or like something like that, or they're not at once, it's probably drone, right? So that's why Doodle knew to put 2 cannons ahead of time instead of just waiting to see, right, what came out of the eggs. And yeah, with 2 cannons and probes pulled, I don't think these Zerglings are going to do anything. Really sharp play by DoodleDoodle.
Yeah, Doodle sending their scouting probe kind of around, evading those first lings, and now getting back into the main of George here to see exactly what George is doing as a follow-up. And it looks like there's going to be a gas and an expansion for George, and they've even sent out a drone to take a 3rd base.
Yeah, keeping that initial probe alive.
Oh.
Okay, well, it's dead now. But keeping that initial probe alive in PvZ is so important. If that probe dies, you're basically blind until that Corsair gets out there. And between that and the time the Corsair comes out, the Zerg can be doing a lot of things, a lot of nasty things, man, that like, you get caught off guard with. And in fact, you see it's so important to like DoodleDoodle, and it should be to all Protosses, that he sent out another probe. But unfortunately, it's intercepted by the Zerglings. So it might only scout its own death, right? It might not be scouting much more. But we'll see, right? What it can get done.
Yeah.
Like
it would like to make its way into the main for George to see this Hydra Den, which is halfway done now. And so far, Doodle has done a great job of keeping these probes alive for longer than anticipated. It's going to see this mineral-only base has a hatchery morphing at it right now.
that's already a really good tell. He's going to lose his probe, but I think DoodleDoodle would have liked to see more, but already confirming that a third hatch is down, and it's not some kind of like two hatch, like maybe like two hatch layer, like Mutalisk or something like that. That already, that's already worth something. That's not nothing, right?
Yeah.
And you do see DoodleDoodle moving across the map with a probe and Zealot now, maybe looking to get some pressure done. But I don't know, man. It's only one Zealot and one probe, And there's definitely a lot of hungry Zerglings out there. He can make a lot of Zerglings really quickly.
Yeah, this Zealot looks like it's just going to try to hide behind the mineral line somewhere. That's what it looks like it's going to do to me. Maybe it can kill a drone or two. But I think the probe here is a distraction for the Lings. Let's see what the Zealot can get done as it goes to this third base, which is undefended. Oh, it's not going to kill the hatchery, though. That's for sure.
Great reaction from George, like immediately pulling those drones, not letting a single one of those drones die. Yeah, Doodle Zealot is going to get picked off. You can see that he's put his Zealot strategically around so that the Zerglings can't get a surround on it to get maximum damage, but still not worth it. And yeah, look, George had placed two Zerglings at his natural, sealing off the wall. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, so the probe could not get a scout in. These guys, definitely tier 0 material, definitely know the game. And you have to think about it. Doodle has now sacrificed 3 probes to try to sniff out what George has done, right? So you can see how important it is, like vision, right? And George now coming across the map. I think he's doing a 973 build,
It does look like it to me, yeah. And this Corsair now is coming out. Hopefully the Corsair is going to give the rest of the scouting info that Doodle needs to know to pretty much how to defend or what's coming at them right now. They are morphing quite a few cannons. They're going to lose, it looks like, the Gateway and the Forge at the front of their net.
Yeah, I think Doodle was caught off guard by this. He couldn't really get the scout off. That's why the cannons were a bit late and all that, right? But yeah, I wouldn't say the game is over yet. Definitely not. But you can see he's really, really afraid of an all-in bust. So he's pulling probes off mining. I definitely give the advantage to George right now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because sometimes once these Hydra rushes fizz out. Oh, here it comes though. Yeah, he's going right on top of the cannons. Yeah, so good trade there.
Solid hold from DoodleDoodle. But I'd almost argue that even damage has been done because DoodleDoodle never got his +1, right? Since Forge died early, and his probes weren't mining for such a long time. Remember that, right? Because he was afraid of the pull. So it's almost like George has already done good damage, even though he didn't bust him, right? But back on George's side of the map, looks like he's committing to it. He's not building any more drones. He's not transitioning out of it. He's going in hard on Hydralisk, and I think DoodleDoodle is aware of it. He's continuing to make more cannons, right? And I just want to point out, look at DoodleDoodle's base. Double forges, man. Double spinning forges.
It's interesting. You would think I would rush to Storm to try to stop this, right? But going for some upgrades on the ground weapons and ground armor for the Zealots maybe to fight off these Hydras. There is quite a few cannons already morphed. 6 cannons, 7 coming in.
It's almost like he's relying on manlots instead, Storm, he's trying to beef up his Zealots by getting all the upgrades instead of going for tech.
Fastest map possible, cannons and Zealots, that's all you need.
It kind of reminds me of like the Hulk method, just getting manlots instead of the more of a big brain. I don't know what's a smart Avenger, Iron Man, right? Instead of relying on tech, rely on brute strength, right? Yeah, and if we do look at George, he is now transitioning out of this, right? Very standard. He's got his 5 hatcheries, right? He's getting his lair, tapping his second gas. Evolution Chamber already researching. He's just transitioning out of this. DoodleDoodle, though, doing a good job with his Corsair. He's going to see this. He's going to see the transition, right? So he knows that George is not going to go completely all in. I thought he actually was going to, but looks like he was just trying to get a small contain, a soft contain right now on DoodleDoodle's front.
So So Doodle now opting for that Templar Archive, so maybe they did make the right move, not necessarily rushing to Storm, because they didn't quite need it to hold on to their net here, and they're going for Zealot Lake Speed, actually, so that's going to give them a timing here where they have their, +1 attack just finishing, and they're going to have their armor, and maybe they try to put on some aggression towards Zerg, because they have been, as you said, contained for most of this game.
But look at the main of DoodleDoodle. George's Overlord has floated its way in, and he sees everything. He even saw the slow archives because I was watching it. Right, he saw it warp in. So not only can the Protoss scout with a flying unit, the Zerg can also get a good scout off, right? So I think if you're Zerg and you see these double forges spinning the slow archive, and you see these gates going up, I think he knows that it might be some kind of as you said, mass sell-out timing. So I think George is well in the know. He knows what's coming, and I think he'll be able to defend it because of another probe being sent out. Look at the middle of the map. Yeah. Another probe being sent out, but it's gonna get caught, right? Definitely.
The Corsair goes down as well, so maybe Doodle getting a little ahead of themselves there, losing their scouting units. But they've accumulated a good amount of Zealots here, and now they're adding in some High Templar to that mix, and those are going to come in very handy once they get their Storm upgrade.
Yeah, actually, DoodleDoodle looking like he's building up a really powerful force. 5 Templars with double armor and attack upgrades on the Zealots. This force is going to hit so hard.
We see Lurkers on the way for George, maybe to try to buy some time or defend against this attack. But here come all the Zealots.
One good storm on the left, one kind of not so great storm on the south, hitting his own Zealots and a bit of friendly fire. But yeah, what you were saying, I think George has done it. He's bought enough time for the Lurkers to come out, and with no observer, man, these spines are gonna destroy Zealots,
Doodle turns right around once they see those Lurker spines, and I think that's the right move here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
going down.
Royal Blue, what do Zealots and Marines hate the most?
Definitely Lurkers, yeah, I see that one.
Yeah, you got it, man, you got it.
And here we see the fourth base coming out for George, but right now it's a little early to be transferring workers to it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit ambitious to maynard the drones such an early time. Looks like DoodleDoodle is actually going to go for an attack on the third, but might be a big mistake.
Yeah, splitting off a small group of Zealots, but not really going to get anything done here at this base. At least seeing the base timing and only losing maybe 4 or 5 Zealots, but not really the kind of trade you want to make as Protoss.
Yeah, and I know that this is a really tough call. I mean, it's really hard for Protoss to do this in this situation, but I really feel like DoodleDoodle, he has to somehow secure a third right now.
Oh.
I mean, George is he's growing out of control. I get it. It's really hard as Protoss in this situation to take a third, but I mean, he's got to make something happen, man, or George is just gonna get too big. He's gonna be everywhere, man. Zerg, he's expanding everywhere. He has a massive army. One thing you can note is their supplies, right? Mm-hmm. If the Zerg has equal supply or higher than a Protoss in this matchup, you know that the Protoss is definitely in trouble. And you can see the supplies are creeping closer and closer for George. He's ahead of DoodleDoodle on workers, sorry.
Yeah, and you can see here on the mini-map even, George being very active, sending units in pretty much every direction, trying to get this complete vision to deny any kind of bases for Doodle that Doodle may try to take at this timing. And it looks like Doodle is taking the middle only here, or at least...
There's a drop in George's main, but he got picked off by 2 Scourge.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and it was exactly due to the fact that you were saying, George has vision everywhere. He's what was that? Is it Sauron? That's power? Yeah. He sees everything. He sees the whole map. I mean, this is as close to map hack as you can get without actually map hacking, right?
Mm-hmm. and I think this Overlord is going to see the timing of Doodle's third base. So we see George splitting off a group of Lings and immediately sending it over there to maybe try to deny this Nexus for the time being.
Yeah, definitely annoying. These like Zerglings can kill like structures so fast, right? And but yeah, he's jumping on the Nexus, but it looks like Doodle will be able to save it. Meanwhile, Doodle going for a Doom push. Now this push has to work.
Yeah.
Look at their supplies. George is now up on supply against like DoodleDoodle. So like either like DoodleDoodle rains the fire of ire down upon the Zerg right now, or like Zerg is just gonna win. Like this is his last push.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I like Doodle's positioning here. That it's gonna be hard to get like a flank or a surround on this army, and so we're seeing a lot of storms coming down from Protoss. So far, they're trading pretty well. They haven't really made any ground, but at least they haven't been overwhelmed quite yet. I think.
Yeah, good engage so far, but the Zerg, I mean, he's got like Zerglings for days, man. I mean, it's still like he's got good engages, but he hasn't crucially killed any of the mining bases or done damage to the infrastructure. You know, he's trading army for army, and George will take that trade for any day, right? With his economy.
Yeah, look at all the hatches over here at the middle are only for George, but there is no Sunkens out, so this group of units from DoodleDoodle is kind of, you know, in some ways snowballing itself onto this third base. But I don't know, all these eggs morphing, and I know there's going to be some link coming out of these eggs. That's going to cause a lot of problems to these Dragoons if there isn't reinforcing Zealots on the way. There is some Archons being made now, but they're... okay, here come 2 Templars, so there is 2 Storms. Oh, these are Hydras actually coming out of these eggs.
Question is, has DoodleDoodle done it?
Yeah.
I mean, if he can kill this base here, I definitely say he's back in the game, or actually even ahead, right? This was just one huge push, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like he's done it. It looks like he's made it work. The wrath of ire has come down, and I don't think I don't know. I think even George is now on the back foot. Look at the supplies. Supplies have plummeted for the Zerg.
Yeah, this third base.
Just like half a minute ago, it was looking so good for George, but now it looks like DoodleDoodle, man, bring it back. You can see another Congo line of Zealots coming down to reinforce this army. I think he's done it, man. I think he's done it. Dude, Tassadar or whoever, like Zeratul, will just mouthing upon the site, man. He's done it. And now the main is undefended for George. There's nothing there. No SimCity, no Sunken.
GG.
Good game from George. Wow, what a game from DoodleDoodle, man. What a game. I know both these players really well, DoodleDoodle and George. I've played them both multiple times, and I can definitely say these two guys, they're definitely really, really good players. I know George has made it to A rank before, and I know DoodleDoodle also. I've heard that DoodleDoodle is actually the best tier 0 player. I've heard it said, so these guys definitely top of their game. Alright, so this will be game 2 between this set. DoodleDoodle, the Protoss player, spawning in the bottom left. And George, the green Zerg, on the top left. The map will be Goodnight.
So look at this from George, placing down the spawning pool on 4 supplies. So this will be a good old-fashioned 4 pool.
This build, man, this build, since 1999, can't go wrong. Actually, was this build even out in 1999? I heard that like the spawning pool used to cost like 250 minerals or something when this game first came out, or something like that, and then they...
I thought it was 150.
Oh, okay. Maybe maybe I was wrong. 150. Yeah. So actually, you know what? If it's 150, then I definitely can say that this strategy probably was out in 1999. You can get the lings even faster, right?
Yeah, now look at this though. Doodle's gonna scout it right away here.
Yeah, this is so unlucky from George. To be honest, you know, it's one of those builds that you really want to get scouted last.
Mm.
But I don't know, man. Maybe the Kala was helping him, helping DoodleDoodle psychically, and told him to scout top left because yeah, DoodleDoodle is gonna get a read on this. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say like I don't know if he can hold his natural, but to be honest, he's not even trying to,
Yeah.
right? And that's the right move. That's the right move. He's gonna build a cannon in the middle of his drones. I mean, his probes, sorry, and his probes are gonna be able to protect it forever.
Yeah, that's the plan at least here for Doodle is scouting this, building 2 cannons in the main, and then just relying on this Nexus to outproduce George into the later game. Here come the first lings though, and the cannons are not done. But the probes are in great position to block it off. Canceling 1 cannon. Here come the lings trying to trade against the probes, but I think they've lost too many lings now. They're, kind of picking away at this forge and the pylon at the gnat, but this is really not what you need to kill right now.
Yeah, George. I mean, I'll say it again. You know, it was a bit unlucky he got scouted first, right? Like this 4 pool is really like a decapitation all-in kind of build. You can see he is droning behind it, and he will get the forge and that pylon, so that's a nice pick off. But definitely not the damage he was looking for, right? Definitely not what he was looking for. And I would definitely put DoodleDoodle ahead right now. I don't think he lost a single probe as well, right? So
Yeah.
except for the one in the main, it might die. Yeah, and well, maybe not even that. And he sees the hash rate going down. So yeah, DoodleDoodle in the driver's seat right now of this game, definitely. Let's see if George can make a epic comeback.
I like this follow-up from Doodle, just throwing down 2 gateways and starting to pump zealots. I think this is going to be very tough for George to deal with, as well as to get the drones necessary to kind of play into a later game here.
Yeah, and you see George is actually trying to take a third base, trying to play a little bit greedy, but as his drone was going out, Doodle's probe was going in. So Doodle, if he was paying attention, he would have seen that third drone
Yeah.
maynarding to another base. And because of this, man, like this 2 gate zealot is gonna hit so hard. Right? Think about it, man. Like you're just trying to take a third while like your opponent's going 2 gate zealot off a failed
Yeah.
4 pool, right? Uh, and yeah, George is making more drones, but what he really needs right now is, maybe I don't know, maybe some more Zerglings. Maybe try to set up a Sim City at his natural.
Yeah, I think you're right. This third base is going to be very difficult to hold without a lot more fighting units at least. Or like you said, maybe just give up on the third base and build some sunks at your net. But here we see a Hydralisk Den coming down.
Like, forget about the third base. I'm even worried about his natural right now, since it has no like
Defense?
yeah, no Sim City, no nothing, right?
Yeah.
Even his natural could die. I think yeah, if Doodle, okay, see, Doodle is pushing out right now. If he hits either the third or the natural, it's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold for George if he can even hold.
And of course
he's got a.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Of course he's going to hit either the nat or the third base, right? Because those are the only options.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that it's going to be a tough hold for either one if he can even hold, right? Either position, right?
Yeah, you're right.
He's got to channel like his inner Jadon to hold this, man. Like I don't know if he can.
This sunk needs to be up now. It's kind of gonna eat some shots here before even finishing up. And there's not really that many lings out. More lings morphing though. The sunken goes down. There's still a good amount of zealots, and GG is called.
Yeah, so another quick 2 games. 2-0 for DoodleDoodle. Great try from George. I definitely liked the first game. I think both players played pretty well first game.
Yeah, I kind of feel for George getting super unlucky in that last game, and also I think having a lead in the first game and just kind of getting overran there by Doodle. But good control from Doodle, and as you said, that was a very well played first game.
Yeah, from both players, I think, first game. Okay, now going on to our next set, it will be Kraazy as the green Terran in the bottom left, and Melody as our brown Zerg, 12 o'clock. That's green, right?
Yes,
the,
the green Terran, Kraazy. The crazy Terran.
I just asked. Yeah, the crazy Terran, right? Never know what he's gonna do, but I just asked because I do have a bit of a red-green colorblind deficiency, so green and red colors, they kind of look the same. Because I know there's also like olive and teal and all that. Yeah. And again, I mean, your eyes can see it, but my eyes aren't that good, man. I got that color blindness, so. I always thought Kraazy was a Protoss player, man, but I think that was only for like 1 season, or he was just messing around.
That was at the beginning of Kraazy's SC career, and then I don't know. Kraazy decided they wanted to feel the pain of Terran, so they switched to Terran. Not sure.
I don't know, man. He repented of his ways.
Yes,
and joined the Terran faith. He joined the Brotherhood.
Yeah, we see Melody making the best of being Zerg here and choosing to throw down this spawning pool before their first hatch. So maybe a little aggression from Zerg on the way, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was a 9 pool.
Oh, I think this is over pool, right? No.
Oh, I wasn't even watching Melody's screen. I was watching Kraazy. Yeah, I think you might be right. It might be an overpool. Yeah, so you can put a little pressure on Terran if you do these kind of builds. But the thing is, Kraazy is gonna see it. He's gonna get first scout, right? So all he's got to do is build a bunker. Build a bunker, and maybe pull like a couple SCVs, block the natural, right?
Yeah. If you do see these 6 lings, you're right. SCVs do need to be pulled and perhaps a bunker constructed.
Yeah, there's 2 ways. There's 2 ways you can do this. When you spot like an overpool, you can actually put a bunker at your natural, but then like just hold your choke with the SCV so the lings can't do a run by.
Yeah.
Or you can just pull a bunch of SCVs like at your natural and just hold it like right there, right? So Kraazy, he must know that like the lings are coming, right? He's got to respond. And yeah, you see he is pulling 4 SCVs.
Even 5 SCVs here.
5. Okay, this is a little bit excessive, man. You only need about 4 at max, right? If you pull 5, it's hurting your economy, right? So. Yeah, and also since Melody, like, her lings were a little bit late getting to Kraazy's base, right? He had 3 Marines by the time the lings came, so you only need about 4 SCVs to pull that. But yeah, again, not too big of a deal, so.
Look at this spawning pool manoring the gas in the main for Zerg. This is very unfortunate. See this right here?
Yeah, this is mega sad face, man, for Zerg. You know how important gas is to Zerg, right? And
and you can't exactly kill your spawning pool either. It's not like a depot or something you can just replace. Oh, that feels bad.
Kraazy. Yeah, but not as bad as his latency, man. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on.
I thought I could fix it. I don't know what to say anymore.
I play with you all the time, man, and we have like TR24 low. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but you know, when something like this happens, you as Zerg, yeah, I think Melody's fixing it. It's better just to put more like drones on. You know, you really need that gas, especially. Well, actually, I was gonna say especially since you're going Spar, but looks like it is a Hydra stand, so. But you still need gas, so.
Yeah, I wonder if that's even influenced the quick second gas here from Melody, as well as, yeah, going for a Hydra Den maybe over a Spire, considering the gas timings are going to be way off. But Kraazy does have a second CC, so he will be floating that over there and landing it at the net as soon as possible here, as well as a bunker, so this is going to be pretty safe. We do see Lurker Aspect on the way, though, so we see where Melody wants to take this game.
Yeah, 2-hatch Lurker play. Definitely not as common as 2-hatch Mulist, but still a good build, you know. Definitely viable. Definitely good. Kraazy is doing like one of the most standard TVZ builds ever. Barracks, I mean, right? He is going engineering bay though. Oh yeah, there's the second barracks. Okay. Super normal.
Yeah, I wonder about the timing of this second barracks. It's what, somewhat late maybe, considering the marine count could be higher to fight off these Lurkers.
Well, he made 8 marine, well nine marines now, and a bunker, right?
Plenty
and he
right?
pulled. He also pulled 5 SCVs, right? Remember at the beginning?
Yeah.
So, like, his economy might not be the best. It's obviously not in shambles, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? To be honest.
This SCV sees everything. Sees at least the Hydras anyway, and maybe some.
He saw the eggs as well, because you have some vision after the scout dies, right? And Melody morphed the Lurkers right away, so he knows, man. He knows immediately. Second bunker coming down.
Terran playing super safe here, constructing that factory, getting the bunker, so they're going to be safe against this Lurker attack.
Did Kraazy get range, or was it only stim? Because he needs range like right now. If he doesn't have range, because
there's range.
Lurkers can out. Okay, he's just getting the U238 shells right now because Lurkers can outrange Marines and bunkers if you don't have range.
Yeah, that's crucial right here. So here come the Lurkers. There's not a ton of links with them just yet, so Melody can decide, do they want to continue producing into this attack? It looks like they're actually adding on a hatch and an Evo, so they may play a macro out of this. But here comes the lean Lurker attack. One of the bunkers gets partially filled, the other one's completely full. The scan goes down. I think these Lurkers were a little too far ahead, like you said. They could have used their range a little bit better, maybe. So all the Lurkers except one go down, and neither of the bunkers gets finished off. So kind of a, I would say a failed attack maybe from Zerg.
Yeah, solid hold from Kraazy. The Zerg tried to go in to the Terran base, but was met by a wall of Marines and bunkers, right? So Kraazy definitely in the driving seat right now. Crucially though, if you notice Melody's base, she didn't get a Queen's Nest, so it's not like something like a quick Lurker into Defiler, right? But I do suppose that if you were going Lurker into Defiler, you probably wouldn't have attacked. You probably would have just contained.
Yeah,
so
like,
I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so yeah, we see Melody trying to transition out of this. I actually saw that Melody is actually getting the what's called the muscular augment. That's what the Hydralisk speed upgrade, and I saw that she also got the range, which I don't know what's called, but the range upgrade as well. So I think Melody is trying to go into maybe a Hydralurk.
Yeah, we see Kraazy is already building tanks, so that's going to be strong if Zerg does stay on Hydra Lurker.
Yeah, against Hydra Lurker, you want double factories. At least double factories. Yeah, since you really want those siege tanks, right? And their explosive splash damage to deal with the Lurkers and Hydras. But at the same time, since Melody's first attack failed, I don't know if she'll be able to get critical mass before Kraazy, pushes out. Looks like Kraazy is trying to do kind of like 3-tank push. You see that, right? He's waiting for his 3rd tank, right? And he's just gonna move out across the map. 3-tank without Vessel, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at what Melody has, I just don't know. I mean, Kraazy looking so strong right now.
I think it's risky to move out without Vessel, but maybe that's what Terran's going to do here. I think the risk is stop lurkers, right? So we see Melody has already burrowed the lurkers kind of in between their army and the base. So there's a chance that if Kraazy moves out before the science vessels come out, they could lose everything here. So I think they'd be wise to kind of wait.
I think Kraazy agrees with you. He's making the vessel now. I think he agrees with you. He's not going to move out before the vessels, right? Mm-hmm. So wise choice from Kraazy. You know what? You said that you're calling Kraazy, you know, he's a crazy Terran, but he's playing super standard, super safe, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Nothing wild.
We do see the Spire going down from Zerg, as well as the Evo Chamber, and the Hive is, you know, maybe 2/3 done. So there is going to be, you know, an attempt at a transition here from Melody. It's just a matter of, is Kraazy going to give them enough time to get their tech out?
Well, I wouldn't call it a transition. The two base lurker attack, transitioning into lurker Hydra, that was the one transition, right? I think she's gonna stay on lurker Hydra. That's what I think.
Okay.
You can see the attack upgrade in the evolution chamber as well.
Yeah.
But look at this though. Look at this huge Terran force moving out right now.
Yeah, this is a very scary army from Terran. The lurker is just retreating back and burrowing though, and the science vessel gets picked off there by the Hydra. So that was a nice pick off. These Marines are taking a lot of lurker spawns though. But the tanks survive in the back of this all though. And we see now Kraazy has switched into Vulture with mine production from the factory. So maybe looking to lay some mines outside of Melody's base here.
I think that attack was as good as Melody was going to get.
Yeah.
But I'm still kind of afraid. I mean, I don't think she has enough. The Terran's already at the front door, knocking down the Sunken.
Yeah, only thing I'm worried about for Kraazy is the amount of Marine Medic has been kind of dwindled down here. But these 3 tanks are in a great position. They're able to shell away at this Nat Mineral line. And there's nothing Zerg has that can really stop these tanks as they slowly, you know, unsiege and resiege. But here is the first Defiler, and it looks like Consumer's getting close to finished here. So Melody may be able to stay in this game a little bit longer. Kraazy is sending a group of 5 Marines over to this base that's undefended here at the right side of the map. 2 Hydras just now get out, but I don't think they're going to be a match for these 5 Marines. They kill 1 Marine. But all these drones are going to go down, and the Nat Hatch goes down too at the main. Or, yeah, Nat for Melody.
And only that Sunken was more. But look at the natural. Look at the natural. Dark Swarm does go down, and this is where losing the first vessel hurts.
Yeah.
If Kraazy had that first vessel, he would have been able to irradiate that Defiler. But now, Melody pushing the Terran back. But is it too little, too late? I mean, World League, like.
Losing the Nat Hatch here is devastating, as well as all the drones at that 3rd base. This is really tough for Melody. They've done a great job to hold on, but losing their eco like this, I think they're going to be hard-pressed to stay in the game. Kraazy adding on more barracks, taking a 3rd base, so definitely willing to stay on top of the macro here. There's a lot of lurkers out, but they're so far away from the Terran base, it's going to take them a long time to slow push over there with Dark Swarm.
Oh, you okay? You okay, RoyalBlue?
Yeah, I'm good.
I heard something. Yeah, and good game comes out from Melody. I like the idea from Melody. I really think two base lurker is a cool build to go, since you don't see it that often, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, unfortunately, just not able to do the damage. And kudos to Kraazy, you know, macro like a monster, right, behind it and taking the game.
Okay, so this is game 2 between these two players, and it looks like it's going to be on good night. We have Kraazy as the green Terran in the top left, and Melody as the yellow Zerg in the bottom right.
Yeah. Since that both these players have spawned in a cross map position, maybe we'll see a little bit of a longer game. I don't know, maybe a bit more of a macro game. It is a big map as well. Good night, 4-player map. I'd be surprised to see if Melody did like an overpool. I'd probably think that she'd go for like a 12 hatch. Kraazy might even try for a 15 CC, you know, like supply, barracks, and command center. Yeah, we will see. Well, one thing that you can, okay, now the saturation is good, but you know, a little bit of a trick for newer StarCraft players. If you spawn on the right side of the map on these like 4-player maps, or these newer 4-player maps, you really want to be like mining the closer minerals. So I think it's like what like on this position where Melody is, we'll be mining 4, 6, 8, and yeah, maybe 2. I think like for your initial 4 workers, just get a little bit more of a mineral income, right? A little bit of a mineral boost. Yep, and looks like it will be 12 hatch. 12 hatch coming out from Melody. Super standard stuff. Just gonna send another drone just to scout. Make sure Kraazy's not doing like 8 racks or something crazy like that. And it most likely will be bio play again from Kraazy because no 12 gas, right? So nothing like a 1-1-1 build or mech build, right? Is there a mech build that takes gas lower than 12, RoyalBlue?
You know, it wouldn't be a factory expand, right, if you're taking gas lower than 12, in my opinion. But maybe there is. I think you can take gas after your racks expand and transition into mech. I think you can do something like that. But you're right.
I'm asking you that.
What?
I'm asking you because you're the king of mech.
I don't
you're
know
the king of mech,
but I do play mech.
Yeah, you're really, really good at that, so.
Yeah, if you find any new mech builds, let me know.
Definitely. Dude, Kraazy playing super safe. You see that he went for a second supply before the command center, right? I mean, it's reasonable. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. I'm just saying that, like, sometimes you can actually get away with it. You can go 1 supply, barracks, and then you get, like, 15 CC before your first Marine comes out. It's just, it's just eco. A little bit helps your economy out a bit, right? You don't have to build that 3rd supply.
Yeah, we see Kraazy placing that 2nd racks down at the normal timing here, and they're now getting their gas. So I would expect to see an academy here pretty soon, and some kind of 2x academy pressure, maybe.
Yeah, super standard stuff right now from Kraazy, and also super standard stuff from Melody as well so far. Good job on Kraazy though. Look at that SCV, untouched, mint condition in Melody's base. Everything. So like the layer is basically done and it's still not taking a single hit point of damage. So Kraazy is going to see takes 2 hits, but he is going to see everything. Yeah. He's going to see what tech Melody is going for, be it Mutalisk, be it Lurker, right? And this is actually kind of huge, because if the Terran can scout what the Zerg is doing without having to build scanners, that means that the SCV production is not cut into, right?
For sure.
And he's going to see this power, right? And yeah, so in these like situations, you can actually delay your scanners a bit because you know what the Zerg is doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it tremendously helps out your economy. And look at that, SCV even gets out alive, or maybe alive. Well, if the SCV gets out alive, he's gonna have some stories to tell. For
Being
sure.
chased by these
Like
speed
back at the
zerglings. Yeah, Melody doing a great job of trying to micro this, and they do take out that SCV. Does not make it back to shared stories.
Terran pub, wherever James Raynor drinks at. And yeah, you can see like Kraazy is continuing to build SCVs, even though normally at this time you would just get like scanners, right? Since he knows what Melody is going. And look at that, transitioning into 4 racks. So with 4 racks instead of like 3 barracks in factory, you're really looking on to put pressure, like move out on the map, maybe make something happen, deny a third, right? Whereas if you're on 3 racks, you're more defensive, right? Because the power of the 3 racks factory is that you get quicker vessels, right? And then you use your vessels then to bully like the Zerg. But with 4 racks, it's kind of like a pseudo 5 racks plus 1. You're more active on the map, right? And you want to like, maybe even deny a third if you get if you kill a lot of mutalisks, right?
Yeah, here are the first
Like the first,
mutalisks out on the map, and we see the turrets.
they're flying right now.
Yeah, the turrets are being constructed hurriedly by the SCVs back at the Terran pub, and they're getting ready for this attack, even in the main as well. So a lot of turrets going up for Kraazy. I think they will be safe against this first Muta group.
Impeccable timing. Impeccable timing by Kraazy. And yeah, Kraazy. He's playing such a good game right now. His turret timing was perfect. The amount of turrets he has right now is perfect. No damage done right now so far by Melody. And she loses 1 Mutalisk already.
Yeah, now we don't see any factory yet from Kraazy, right? So maybe that's the one trade-off by doing this build, like you said. So going for the 4 racks, being able to move out onto the map early on, like we see scanning for a 3rd base to see if you could take it out early on. But a little bit delayed tech. And here come the Mutas with the backstab, jumping on that 1 turret right away, and now trying to harass the SCVs, but being forced back. Kraazy was pretty on top of it, reacting to that attack, bringing the Marines back.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying about the delayed tech, one mistake Kraazy did make is that his factory is really late. Factory should already be building by now, right?
Yeah.
But wow, but at the same time, look at the strength of the 4 racks. Look at how many Marines he has. Huge Congo line of Marines moving across the map right now. I mean, it's dangerous, man. You want to bunch up your Marines. I mean, they can get picked up, right? Picked off. Okay, hold that thought. There's an engagement in the middle. Melody bleeding Zerglings for the big fight. Let's see if she can kill the Marines.
These Mutas trying to micro back and forth, but not able to whittle down the Marines very effectively there, I think. Marine Medic very strong at this time in the game. What does Melody have behind this? Any kind of lurkers or any kind of tech besides just mutas and lings? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I think if it was like a 3 racks move out, Kraazy wouldn't have the numbers to have won that fight. But since it was a 4 racks, I mean, he definitely had enough to beat that mutiling attack. So I would say that Melody is basically right now on a timer. She's stuck on Mutalist tech, and if you're stuck on Mutalist tech, you really want to be doing critical amounts of damage, on the Terran base, right, to justify this. And I don't know. Like once vessels come out, this game will be over, right? Basically, right? So Melody has to either win right now or do crippling amounts of damage, right? But Kraazy, he's looking so strong. He's looking so strong right now. And look at that armory on the way for the Valkyries, right?
Oh wow, and Melody
Yeah, just
just
taps out.
the game, so that's it.
So a solid, I think a solid game, 2 games played by Kraazy. He had good scouting and good reaction, right? Both games, and yeah, 2-0 for Kraazy. Hey, welcome back to our last series of this cast. It will be between Amy WugsaW, the red Terran, at the bottom right position, and Pand0r, the green Terran, 12 o'clock position. Map will be Neo Sylphin 2.0. So these 2 players, I've heard them both. I've heard of them both before. Admittedly, I've heard more about Pand0r than WugsaW personally. um, but I know that both these players are great players, really strong Terrans. So I'm really looking forward to a good game between these 2 players. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the quality of play in the matches that we've cast today. It seems like some of these tier 0 players are quite good, especially like, you know, when you get to like Doodle and George, and I think Pand0r and WugsaW are kind of at that type of level. So we'll see how they play in this one. But definitely some fun matches to cast, and the last TVT series was not that long, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get a longer one here to try to add some length to this cast.
Yeah, for sure. So far, we have mirror builds going on. Pand0r, WugsaW doing the exact same thing. Nothing special like an 8 racks or proxy barracks BBS. Nothing crazy like that.
Yeah, it looks like WugsaW is gonna scout first. Right now, it looks like they're going in the wrong direction, unfortunately, for them.
Yeah, Pand0r really delaying that scout. I think the accepted scout time in TVT, if you're playing completely normal, is actually 14, which WugsaW did too. But Pand0r, man, he's getting greedy, man. He's just not scouting. He's keeping his. Wait, now he's scouting, but wait, is he gonna scout or what? Like, okay, yeah, now he is actually scouting, so a little bit delayed. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Factory in the middle of the map.
So I thought WugsaW was scouting with that SCV, but I was wrong. Yeah, it's a proxy fact. So the first factory for WugsaW, yeah, being built in the middle. So it's going to be imperative that they deny scouting here. If this SCV does get in the main for WugsaW, it's going to see nothing there, and immediately Pand0r is going to be like, what's up? There must be a proxy fact. So we'll see. It looks like right now this SCV is getting denied. And just hanging out outside the net is Pand0r's SCV. And Pand0r is placing their own command center, so kind of falling for it so far anyway. I wonder what WugsaW's plan is. Only building one vulture now and then a second factory in the middle of the map. And this Rax is going to scout them both, it looks like. So this is kind of devastating.
Well, yeah, Pand0r should already know that it's some kind of one-base play. And how he knows is that, if you notice, he was checking the natural, so no command center from WugsaW already gives it away, right? And now Pand0r is in the main of WugsaW, so he sees everything, he knows. And the barracks even spots what's up, right? So
And so now the rush is on. It's one vulture against two vultures for Pand0r, so WugsaW can't really attack right now, but do they know that? They might just try to make something happen with this first vulture and get rejected or denied here.
I think Pand0r should put down some kind of bunker. He needs a bunker or some kind of like SimCity. And yeah, the bunker's coming down, but I think it's a little bit late.
Yeah, and there's only one Marine for this bunker anyway, and the Rax has been lifted off and is, after scouting, is continuing on to WugsaW, so there's not going to be any more Marines for this bunker, so it kind of can just get ignored here, really, depending on what the SimCity looks like.
Well, the bunker, even if it has one Marine, it's still worth something. It's more about the SimCity, right? The bunker reduces surface area, right? The vultures.
Aggroing the vultures, right? So,
yeah, man, WugsaW, he's doing the double Goliath build. Man, this is a classic. This is a classic build. I'm getting like nostalgia tears from watching this.
Yeah, here come the first two Goliaths, but I don't see this working out for WugsaW. They're gonna have to mass up a considerable force to kind of overwhelm this bunker and at least get. Oh man, so adding on 2 add-ons now, maybe trying to go into quick tank production. Pand0r gonna
that has to be the plan
at the CC location in the NAT for WugsaW.
Trying to build your natural command center? I don't think so. I don't think so. Barracks in your base, in your face. Can't build it. He's even building a Marine as well.
Yeah, the BM Marine over here is going to start shooting these SCVs down. And we do see tanks and siege mode on the way for WugsaW, so that's the transition they're going for here. Just going right into siege tanks. Maybe they can make something happen, but double add-ons as well for Pand0r. And Pand0r has these 2 bases, so they're just going to be able to produce more tanks as the game goes on, I think.
Yeah, I think Pand0r has held this beautifully, man. I mean, WugsaW is going to have tanks, but Pand0r also has like double tanks, right? And I mean, even if WugsaW sieges, all Pand0r has to do is pull the boys, and he can overwhelm this, right? Due to just the sheer volume of units. So Pand0r definitely in a commanding position, but he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful. You can't lose your units before you commit to an attack.
Great job targeting that first tank, and now these tanks are in a pretty good position for WugsaW. They're going to be able to take out this bunker, which, not that the bunker was really doing too much anyway.
Oh, the bunker did do a lot. It prevented him from dying when like WugsaW had the Goliaths. Remember?
Very
when he had
true.
vultures.
It did slow down the Goliaths. And now here come the SCV pull. There's still a few Goliaths left, though. Or 1 Goliath left. And these 3 tanks are surviving.
Yeah, poor targeting from Pand0r with his tanks, like not targeting like WugsaW's tanks. And WugsaW had amazing targeting with his siege tanks, like not clicking on the SCVs. I think he was targeting the attacking units. So he's getting a lot of damage done right now. And if you look at the SCV count, WugsaW almost has... Yeah, he almost has equivalent SCVs now, so...
Wow. Pand0r in a lot of trouble here, and they don't have tanks behind this. Now they're getting siege mode. But they've been producing vultures, and now they've pulled a bunch more SCVs. They've really got to surround and take out some of these tanks.
Gets one. He's going to get 2.
Yeah. But there's 2 more on the way, and now WugsaW is actually pulling some SCVs of their own. So this is going to be some SCV football, it looks like. Oh, repairing some mass repair on the tanks here.
Those fusion cutters are pretty good, man, but like, they can only go so far.
Yeah, once Pand0r gets siege mode out, though, I'd imagine this push gets stopped. It's almost done here. But WugsaW going for another timing, just moving in with their tanks, not even sieging really. Here's Pand0r has 1 tank sieging up, but it might be too little and maybe not in the best spot here. Uh-oh, and yeah, it's gonna get dove on by all these units from WugsaW and taken out.
Yeah, WugsaW. You know what? I thought Pand0r was in a really good position, but WugsaW with his flash like, what do you want, boxer like micro, I should say.
Yeah.
managing to do the damage he needed. And if you look at the SCV count, WugsaW is ahead of Pand0r.
Yeah, WugsaW even has their CC finished, and they're mining. They have a refinery; they can mine gas from there too. So, Pand0r kind of losing their advantage now. I don't know about this siege. Oh, oh, the mine hit though. This has been a pretty epic battle here of just a few units at a time, but pretty constant fighting at the NAT. We see two more tanks making their way over from WugsaW. But I think now finally Pand0r has tanks sieged up in the NAT in the good spots. They can defend their base here. So WugsaW forced back. And this game may end up stabilizing a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely for sure. WugsaW's got to be careful though. He's got to start setting up a contain. I think he's gonna lose another tank. He's not paying attention. Ooh. Yeah, because the fact that WugsaW's like, yeah, now he's losing all his tanks. Because the fact that WugsaW's factories are in the middle of the the map, and he doesn't have a lot of factories at his own base right now. He has to have some kind of contain.
Yeah.
The moment he loses map control, he's gonna lose basically all his production, right?
Yeah.
And Pand0r will win. He's done the economic damage, so he's definitely back in it. But yeah, he just needs to contain Pand0r and build up his own production at home, which he is now doing, right? So.
Yeah, I like WugsaW's spot here. They do have this kind of contain. I think it's pretty solid here. 4 tanks with some decent mine placements. And yeah, they know they have to defend these factories, at least for the time being. And here comes Pand0r with a bunch of speed vultures. Let's see how the targeting is here. Again, just targeting those siege tanks is WugsaW. But these vultures, if they had mines, they could have laid some mines there, but it doesn't look like it. And Pand0r's tanks are all focused down now. Yeah, that might have done it, I think. WugsaW winning that battle pretty decisively. I think only losing 1 tank.
Yeah, WugsaW in a really, really, really good position right now. You see, Pand0r has got a starport for Wraith, but WugsaW's too smart for that, man. He's already got 2 Goliaths. He knows what's up, right? And he's seen all the tricks.
Yeah, WugsaW even taking a 3rd base over here. So with this contain, just trying to get more ahead.
Yeah, WugsaW up on workers, up on supply. I mean, looks like a vulture counterattack trying to sneak out.
Yeah, this could be huge. WugsaW does not have any vultures out on the map, and they have 2 in the main actually. So that could be just what they need to defend this run by.
It's definitely going to be fine, but Pand0r being a little bit annoying, placing some mines, in the reinforcement position.
So taking out that first vulture without losing any for Pand0r, but now mass repair going down. Mass repair is so OP. This 1 vulture taking on 3 with the SCVs repairing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Pand0r can do right now. He is switching to dropships, which is definitely the right play.
Yeah, and getting cloak as well. So I don't know about that one, but definitely dropship is the move here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, investing like 150, minerals, gas, obviously into cloak when you don't have that many raids, it's not worth it, right? Because WugsaW already has comm stats, right? Now, the thing with these like dropships is that like Pand0r can either try to do like annoying attacks with the dropship, or like if you accumulate enough, you can do a dupe drop, or you can actually drop to take bases, right? And that's another way how you can get back in the game. So I like what he's doing. 2 vultures dropping the main.
Yep, dropping the 2 vultures now, so they're gonna get right into that main mineral line and start focusing down some SCVs.
Okay, he gets what, like 3 and 1, 3 and so he gets maybe 7 SCVs?
I think this has been a pretty effective drop. We do see though WugsaW is taking another base though, so eventually despite, you know, the damage, WugsaW's just gonna get more and more ahead here.
Yeah, definitely. Pand0r, he's either got to drop to make. Well, he basically has three choices, right? He's either gonna have to make it the Doom drop with his with mass dropships and try to win, like just drop in WugsaW's base, or he's gonna have to like use his like drop to take another base, or he's gotta use his drop with his army to break like the contain, right? And if he can't, if he can't achieve any of those, WugsaW's just gonna squeeze him out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and already this tank line is so strong. It looks like Pand0r's going to try to drop some vultures on the line, maybe, and splash damage that way. Not really getting many tanks for their trouble, though, is Pand0r.
And he loses one of the critical dropships, man. Like, when you're stuck on 2 gas, and, you know, you're making dropships as well as units, you can't be losing those dropships.
Yeah, now loading up some SCVs for a little bit more dive bombing. Pretty nice defense from WugsaW.
He's doing some kamikaze SCVs, but at this point, you know, I just feel like it's too little too late, right?
Yeah, because WugsaW has access to the whole map right now, so if they wanted to, they could just take even another expansion. So their production is just going to, their eco is just going to be so much higher. But we do see some wraiths coming out from Pand0r, so maybe that's their way back into this. They already have cloak. They may add on some more wraiths and see if they can get vision to drive back the tanks that way. We do see a wraith for WugsaW, but it's only 1 against 2 right now.
The problem with this is that he revealed his race way too early. Goliath's immediately being queued up on WugsaW's side of the map. And again, I have to stress, you're on 2 gas. You can't be going dropships, raid, and also like mass tanks off 2 gas, right? You just don't have the...
I like this play though from Pand0r dropping these 8 vultures outside the main, kind of going around this other pathway, and now they're going to be able to attack this 3rd base, which is relatively undefended. Only 2 vultures over here. So if Pand0r can get up this ramp, they're going to be able to roast these SCVs. If they target them.
Hey, RoyalBlue, I just realized WugsaW still doesn't have the Iron Thrust upgrade.
Oh, there's still no
It's the Vulture speed. Yeah.
Well, they've got to contain, so they don't really need it, but maybe now it would be useful, huh? Losing quite a few SCVs at this 3rd base.
Yeah, this attack is doing some like nasty damage, man. But like, does it matter though? Like.
Well, as you said,
you know what I'm saying?
Pand0r needs to use their drops. Oh my gosh! So they've got cloaked wraiths, and they're picking away at this contain outside the net. They're gonna have to retreat though right now, as they are getting scanned. But if Pand0r could use this time to set up their own 3rd base, right? Use their drops to, you know, defend that high ground at their 3rd base location that they've kind of taken. I can see that being really helpful to them. But there's a mine right there, so WugsaW definitely knows about this base being taken and is sending their wraiths over as well as some vultures to try to deny it. And I don't think dropping in 8 SCVs is really what Pand0r needs right now, because GG is called.
Yeah, great play from both players. I think Pand0r had the right idea how to defend what he saw, but WugsaW is micro just a little bit too good, you know, just a little bit too strong in, you know, getting the job done. All right, second game in the series between WugsaW and Pand0r. And, is that blue? Is that navy blue or what?
Yeah, I think it is navy blue over here for Pand0r in the bottom left.
Red for WugsaW.
Huh?
And red for WugsaW, red color.
Yes, red for WugsaW in the top right.
I hate this navy blue color because it's hard to even read Pand0r's name on the top right.
It is.
Like, look at it.
Yeah, it blends in pretty well with the background.
You know what I used to do for the colors? I used to choose like was it olive or green or brown or whatever it was. If it was like jungle tile set, because because like if you don't like shift tab your mini map, so it's like red and like what was it, red and yellow or whatever, right? If you leave it on the original colors, you might be able to get some camouflage advantage for your troops.
Ah, yes. Every little advantage helps, right?
That's right, man. StarCraft. Every little bit helps. You want to choose gray for the space tile set, right? Get camouflage. Yeah, there's nothing really to say about this game except that they're doing really standard builds again, or at least the openings are standard. Might see WugsaW coming in the middle of the map and build 2 factories again, but until that time occurs, there's a super standard build coming out from both turns: 12 gas, 11 racks, right? 9 depot. WugsaW again scouting at the completely normal time, if that is scout and not a proxy factory SCV 14, right? And Pand0r again being a little bit more greedy, waiting for his. Actually, no, never mind. It is 14. Well, yeah, it is 14 SCV. So really standard play from both players.
Yeah, WugsaW building their first factory in their base and then taking 2 guys off gas. So most likely WugsaW will be changing things up a little bit, taking an expansion this game, which I think is going to be a good call because, you know, those kind of 2 factory plays, they do work in Terran vs Terran, as we saw in the last game, but they're kind of maybe easier to block if you know it's coming, I should say. So
yeah, Pand0r has to be like thinking in the back of his mind, you know, is he gonna do something weird? Is he gonna do something strange, right? Oh, great deny for Pand0r on WugsaW's SCV, but WugsaW did see that second SCV coming down the ramp, so he might already know that it's standard play.
Yeah, it's similarly, Pand0r does get their SCV denied, but I think they also saw WugsaW's SCV coming down the ramp there, so both these players placing their command centers fairly confident in the net, and I think they are both going into the mid game here, or at least the later early game, with their net expansion.
Right. WugsaW choosing to go for add-on tank, while Pand0r doing 2 vultures probably before add-on. I kind of favor WugsaW a little bit, just because he's getting away with it, right? He's getting away with the shop and the tank first, right? One of the things you can do is that you can, if you know your opponent's going like shop first, you can definitely harass with your early vultures, right? It's really annoying. Kill the Marines, kill the SCV building the command center, right?
Yeah.
But well, he's going across the map now with his 2 vultures. But look, tank already out. Tank and 2 Marines already out. So I don't expect that this will do too much damage.
Yeah, this 2 vulture move out, you want to time it so you can deny this command center from finishing. And so maybe he will be able to do it with this tank kind of a little bit farther back. But it looks like Pand0r isn't going to move in here. So this command center will finish. And they have gone up to 3 factories now. Staying on pure vulture, it looks like. She's not going to do too well against tanks. But trading with some SCVs here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Pand0r that it was cross map as well, I wanted to say. And also losing those 2 vultures, they didn't do that much damage, to be honest. And, I mean, WugsaW, he immediately moves out. He immediately moves out. He smells blood, right? He's killed the 2 vultures.
Ooh, what was that?
And
Pand0r's canceled something in their main, and they might be aware that these 2 tanks are counterattacking them and they need units ASAP.
yeah, I think that was actually a 4th factory, but Pand0r like canceled it in favor of a starport.
Pand0r right now with 3 vultures, no units in production. They do have a starport on the way, but only SCVs building for Pand0r, and they lose all their vultures there, and this is going to be really bad. Okay, so they have started a tank and 2 vultures now, but they're going to lose all these SCVs here.
Yeah, another really good attack from WugsaW. He's ahead actually in SCV, or even now, but he evened up the SCV count, and he's getting mines on the ramp. I can only imagine siege mode is building. Yeah, and if you look at like WugsaW's base, siege mode is on the way, so definitely a really strong attack from WugsaW. The only saving grace for Pand0r is that he very wisely chose to forego the 4th factory and build a starport. So that Wraith is going to be able to push away these tanks.
Yeah, hopefully the damage isn't too much by the time that Wraith gets out. We do see the Nat CC forced to lift here for Pand0r, at least for the time being.
He lifted it and then landed it. He's got to be careful. It can die. He's got to lift it. He's got to lift it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this Wraith is, you know, doing his pew-pew best, but it's going to take a while for it to take out these tanks. It does get 1 tank here. And now WugsaW actually trying to bust through the top of this ramp, which I do not think is going to work out here, as there is vultures and 3 factory production behind it. Ooh! Oh, wow, the mine track. That was a big mine hit right there.
Yeah, I think WugsaW got a little bit greedy trying to go up that ramp there.
Yeah.
It would have been better just to like have fallen back even, since he already had mines on the low ground. Maybe he sent some SCVs to heal his tank. But that mine trap kind of brought it back. You know what I'm saying? Like it took out a huge chunk of Pand0r's army.
Yeah, WugsaW getting harassed by this one Wraith by Pand0r, but they do have some Goliaths out now, so Pand0r better... Oh, Pand0r does lose that first Wraith there. They have built a second one. Uh-oh. The second Wraith is now engaging the Goliath as well in head-to-head combat, which will not end well. And the second Wraith goes down as well.
Yeah, Pand0r not being too careful with his units. Ooh, he's gotta like repair his tanks. He's gotta. Like, you really gotta be careful. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do. You don't want to be contained in your own base in TVT, obviously, right? That's the worst thing that can happen. But at the same time, I mean, you gotta be so careful with mines in play.
Yeah, and that Wraith was the only really thing that really saved Pand0r in that early attack. And now with both the Wraiths gone, there's nothing they have except all these vultures and 1 tank. WugsaW themselves don't have such a big army there though. Only 2 Goliaths and 1 tank.
Yeah, this could be maybe an overextension from WugsaW. You know, he's not respecting Pand0r's macro enough, and he paid the price for it. He has to scurry back. You know, a quick word about those Wraiths. Even though WugsaW has Goliaths out on the field, the Wraiths still have value, because when it comes to siege lines and stuff, with the Wraith, with the air vision, you can actually outrange your opponent's tanks, right? So they still do have utility.
Yeah, they're dead though. That's what I was trying to say. But they do have utility if they were alive. Yeah.
Yeah. That was an ambitious mine placement from Pand0r, but WugsaW not taking any damage from it. But it's kind of like a little bit of a reverse of what happened in the beginning now. Pand0r has like mines out at WugsaW's like natural, right? While WugsaW is sitting in his base.
Yeah, I'm impressed by Pand0r how they've managed to somewhat stabilize this game. I did think they were pretty much down and out at the early game. But now looking at it, they're only down like 8 supply. The worker count is not super skewed in anyone's favor. And they've got, you know, 4 factories and a starport, which is the same thing that WugsaW has. So it's just a matter of, are these tanks that WugsaW has accumulated going to make it across the map here against this Vulture and Spider Mine force that Pand0r has?
Good scan to clear the mine path.
Yeah, Pand0r going for a run by, it looks like. They may even make it into the Terran Nat. Yeah, are they going to go for the main even?
Oh, they have the potential to do good damage, but at the same time, Pand0r has actually gotta like make more tanks. Like, what is he? He's got one. Yeah, he's got 3 tanks.
And that might be all you need if these. Oh, mine hit goes off on one of the tanks. Yeah, these tanks need.
Oh, that was a. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying these tanks are in a great position here.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, that was a money shot for Pand0r's tank. I don't know if you saw that, like, on the high ground. That was a money shot.
Yeah, it seems to take out a tank with its one shot. That's what I saw anyway. Maybe I just saw that last.
It was already pre-damaged, but
okay. And now we see Pand0r actually ahead in the worker count, and WugsaW trying to set up a third base over here in the middle right, but they actually get taken out there. And I do like Pand0r's position here on the high ground compared to WugsaW. WugsaW going for it though. Ooh, triggering a big mine hit though. All their tanks are bruised. Oh no. This is not going to be a successful attack from WugsaW, as Pand0r taking almost no losses there.
Yeah, it's a cleanup on aisle 5. Pand0r cleans up all WugsaW's entire army, and you know, just like that, Pand0r's back in the lead, up on SCVs, up on supply.
So we see Pand0r building some dropships as well and laying a lot of mines out on the middle of the map and kind of on WugsaW's side. And they have constructed a Wraith as well. So we'll see if they try to go with drops. WugsaW themselves has 2 dropships out, but they haven't used them yet. So maybe trying to mass up for a bigger drop.
Yeah, he's probably accumulating his dropships for some kind of doom drop. Oh, that was ambitious. Pand0r tried to run some vultures past and denied a third again, but Shanks denying that. Yeah, Pand0r switching into Wraith play. WugsaW also going dropships now.
WugsaW does have a slightly faster third base, but it looks like Pand0r's third base is going to be set up here at 6 o'clock. And they're transferring SCVs to that location now. They've actually brought their whole army over here, which maybe was a little bit too much. But this location is definitely well defended for the time being. And WugsaW may be trying to retake the center here, sending their tanks forward, but I think they just ate another mine hit.
Yeah, is 3 tanks bruised, 2 of them critically.
Ooh, and here come the 2 Wraiths. Are they going to pick away at these bruised tanks? Perhaps.
Yeah, he's just sitting there for now.
They're going to run into these Goliaths soon enough. Uh-oh. Cloak and run away. But a run by yeah.
It's super annoying, you know, super annoying.
not going to do critical damage, but I mean, done good damage already. But again, just so annoying to deal with, you know, delayed in mining, draws your attention away.
Yeah, you have to transfer those SCVs away and then back. You gotta keep producing, you gotta resaturate your gas. There's a lot that this run by accomplishes. And Pand0r is also, you know, ahead on workers now, setting up their own fourth base. What I do like about WugsaW though, they have this position in the middle and it looks pretty hard to break. And that middle, you know, location can be really important here in TVT. And we do see a good number of dropships, 6 drops out for WugsaW.
Looks like he's starting to fill up his dropships. Most likely he's going to be Goliath tank. He might load some vultures up if he, you know, doesn't have enough, but usually you want to drop Goliath tank. That's a preferred combination.
Yeah, now Pand0r has great defense at the third base. They have mines, they have a tank, they even have 3 turrets there. But if WugsaW was to, let's say, go for the main here or fly over the net, this could be an effective doom drop, and it looks like they're going right for the main. Let's see if they keep going or if they stop. The vultures and the tanks are going to see this as the dropships fly over them. How fast is Pand0r reacting? He's going with all of his units back to the main. Here comes the doom drop though. Yeah, is there enough tanks with this force? It looks like only 2 tanks have been unloaded so far. There's 6 other tanks, but they haven't got out of their dropships yet. Oh no. Yeah,
this was...
tanks didn't get unloaded on time here.
Yeah, this was a disaster from WugsaW. He actually had a really strong force.
Yeah.
It's exactly as you said. 6 tanks were left chilling inside the dropships, and I guess the dropship pilots didn't get the memo or something, man. I mean,
yeah, now there's 5 raids which are making short work of those remaining empty dropships, which are just, you know, kind of floating, waiting to die over Pand0r's base. And now Pand0r definitely with an advantage. We'll see if they decide to take another base or make a counterattack. They are sending 1 dropship over to this 3 o'clock location. And sieging up. Uh-oh. Nice splash damage on those SCVs right now. Oh man. Brutal. These tanks are getting so much kills on the SCVs. GG as the raids start picking away at these tanks.
well done by Pand0r. Well done by Pand0r. Coming back from a very, very stressful situation. He was definitely behind from the start there, but he managed to make a comeback, so definitely well played by Pand0r. But also, you know what? Also well played to WugsaW. I mean, he's making these early aggression plays work, right? And it is really impressive. Move on to our last game of this cast and of this series.
Yeah, so this series also will go into a deciding game 3 on Butter. Can't wait to see how these players decide to play this one out. We have Pand0r here in the top right as the yellow Terran, and WugsaW in the bottom right as the green Terran. So on this map, for Terran versus Terran especially, the high ground over here on the left side, I think plays a big factor. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, you know, this is just my personal opinion, so you know, feel free to disagree with me, right? No hard feelings or anything. Butter, I don't really like this map for TVT. Honestly, it's basically like one gigantic hill in the middle of the map. You know how it's like there's like multiple like high grounds, like each high ground gets a little bit higher. Like I think there's 2 high grounds, right? And the person who controls like the highest of the high grounds, like basically just wins. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, I mean, you could say that about any like TBT, it's like, oh, if you just control the high grounds, you win. But the problem is that there's just one gigantic high ground in the middle of the map. That's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Like other maps, there's more like different paths you can come around. I know that there is a path on the, let's say, the right hand side of the map, a small path you can come around, but that path is basically limited by bridges. So like, it's insanely easy to shut down like massive amounts of units, but just by sieging a couple tanks on your side of the bridge, right?
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. So it basically becomes a gigantic fight for the center of the map, and whoever controls the center of the map basically wins. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you could still do stuff like doom drops and like raid switches, but if you control the center of the map, the first thing, at least I would be thinking, is this: I have control of the center of the map. They're going to do drops and raids, right?
Yeah.
So you're really like preemptively, kind of like Again, it's my opinion, my 2 cents. I mean, I could be wrong, right? Like just some scrub player doesn't know anything, right?
Well, we'll definitely see how this game plays out if they do kind of rush for that high ground and try to set up a contain right away. That could be strong here. Pand0r not building... Okay, now they're building their factory.
Yeah, WugsaW was using some of his, he's using the SCV, I think, to block, like, Pand0r's initial SCV from building a factory, so buying him a little bit of extra advantage, I guess, or his factory's going to finish a little faster.
Yeah, and Pand0r has taken everyone off gas as well as we saw in a previous game. I think we saw, was it Caravaggio do something similar to this? And so
Yeah, I do believe so.
Yeah, looking to get that early NAT expansion.
Yeah, it's 100%. He's just trying to get a faster expansion. That's why you put back on gas. Man, WugsaW is hitting his SCV on the top of Pand0r's natural, so he could come in right now and see everything. And that's what is he gonna do that or what? Like,
just gonna fight the command center and die here instead of getting into the main. Maybe they could have seen the factory count there.
Yeah, I mean, if you see like a factory in a starport building, that's a huge tell already. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? So a little bit of a mistake, I think.
Pand0r's SCV though sees everything. He's inside WugsaW's base. He sees everything that's happening. Double factories going down for both players. Super standard. Almost like mirror builds right now from both players. I wonder if they're going to do that like... Okay, I was just about to say I wonder if they're going to do like Goliath build where you go 2 factories and then armory, vulture, Goliath. But it looks like WugsaW is putting down a 3rd factory and add-ons. So that signals to me he's going to go into vulture war mode.
Yeah, and Pand0r is also going up to 3 factories. We'll see if they go on to an add-on, but I wouldn't be surprised if both these players are going for Vulture Wars. There is a little bit of engage at the middle. Pand0r does take out one of WugsaW's vultures.
Yeah, Pand0r won that fight. There were 3 vultures on 3 vultures, but with a little bit of micro, Pand0r won that. And
so
looks like he's going to try to trust. Yeah, Pand0r looks like he's trying to press the issue, but repair is pretty good, so loses 1 vulture. Yeah, I definitely think that this kind of vulture war style is pretty good on Snap Butter, because it's all about controlling that high ground, right? So if you win the big vulture war flood at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel that like you're in control. And if you open tank and the other guy opens vulture mines, he can contain you, right? And get the center ground as well. So I'm not really that surprised to see both players going mass vultures.
We see even a 5th factory from Pand0r. So far only 4 from WugsaW. But both players definitely mass producing vultures, not really even too worried about attacking. The nice thing is Pand0r is able to see the count that WugsaW has right now with the racks. So I think Pand0r is thinking their head is moving out. But both players have around a key of vultures, and they are engaging here outside of WugsaW's net. I think because this is closer to WugsaW's factories, WugsaW will be able to reinforce this a little faster.
Yeah, definitely. We see the Badlands dirt bike gang skirmish. Whatever went on, like motorbike gang skirmish, and yeah, you're absolutely right. WugsaW wins that fight. Pand0r's got to retreat to his own side of the map. Will WugsaW push the issue though? Will he try to break Pand0r? I don't know. I mean, he's gonna try. He's gonna try. Thinks better of it.
I think WugsaW is focus firing pretty well right now. Well, both sides are focus firing, but I think WugsaW has enough here. Maybe. Oh, and the reinforcements from Pand0r come in.
Reinforcement from WugsaW come in as well, though. I mean, oh, this is so close. This is down to the wire, you know.
Yeah, I think that extra 5th factory is coming in to pay dividends now for Pand0r, however.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that one factory is golden, man. It's worth its weight in. I mean, I know StarCraft 1 doesn't have like gold minerals, but like it's like a gold mineral factory, you know. StarCraft 2 has, well, they had a gold mineral before. Yeah, this like the aggression is relentless, continuing to flood both players, or both players are continuing to flood vultures, and
2 more factories on the way for WugsaW, but I think it might be too late here. I think Pand0r's kind of done it.
Yeah, I think that continuous production from one like factory, that one extra one, basically let him win, let him snowball his way to victory. You can see the workers and everything are basically even, so it really did come down to that one factory.
Yeah, some nice micro here from Pand0r, keeping that injured vulture alive. And here come the reinforcements, and now it's just SCVs alone fighting vultures, and I think that's going to be it here. I don't know what WugsaW can do. There's a landed Rax even, so this Nat is going to be taken out. Maybe Pand0r even wants to lift here. I don't know. Yeah, they do lift to try to get on top of these factories. Maybe this is an overextension, but they've done such good damage to WugsaW already.
Yeah, this is game-ending damage already. Even if WugsaW like somehow manages to push Pand0r back, he's down 10 SCVs, right? And he's not transitioning. He can't transition, right? Pand0r's won the Vulture War, and he most likely will take this game.
Yeah, these vultures dying relatively quickly here. The SCVs are being pulled, but they're not in time to repair anything. And once again, Pand0r has destroyed all the vultures for WugsaW, and these SCVs are no match. GG is called from WugsaW, and Pand0r will take it.
Well played by both players. 2-1 to Pand0r. Okay, thank you for watching our cast. You have anything else to say, RoyalBlue?
No, I think you got it.